Give it up for the funny, the hilarious. King of the open micers at the 190. Alonzo Cantu.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Right. Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. You hear that? That's the intro. But now it's going away. Now Daddy's home. How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, yeah. That's right. It's been too long. It's been one whole gosh dang week. But I'm back. The Ace Man is back, baby. That's right.
Aced.
He's here. He's in the building. And it's the Ace of Hearts episode. What does that mean? Ace of Hearts? Yeah. I'll tell you. Oh, you were, yeah. Well, what it is we got Mr. J. Lafarr in the studios. No, the studio audience, not the studios. What the fuck was that? We got Mr. J. Lafarr in the audience, or the studios. And I'm a student of Mr. J. Lafarr. And even though they call him Mr. J. Lafarr, he's very Mr. J. La close to my heart. That's why it's an Ace of Hearts episode.
Ace.
And that's why Mr. Students, Mr. J. All right, whatever. All right, Mr. J, how's it going, sir?
Good. How are you, Alonzo?
I'm doing good, man. It's that kind of show. It's kind of meandering. I just say whatever I want into the mic, and the people love it. All my millions and millions of loyal listeners, they love it when I do what I do. So how do you do, sir?
I do very well, thank you.
Very good. So I always ask this for every audience member. Let's get out of the way. Mr. J. Lafarr, how big is your penis?
It's a solid V6, but if you push the fat down, it's 7.
That's hot. All right, let's give it up. That's pretty hot. I'm not going to lie. I've always wanted a length to apply to the man, you know, the myth, the legend, and now I have that in my head. And thank you very much. I know that the world thanks you, Mr. Lafarr. You're a well-known person in the San Antonio comedy scene. If you don't know about J. Lafarr, you better ask somebody.
You best. Mm-hmm. You best act.
Your best acts. And so this man has been doing a lot. Do you still do the motor mirth defensive driving?
No, it closed the school up COVID time because it was couldn't have classes, and then I was burned out on it anyways. Taught defensive driving classes for a long time. Plus, I just didn't want to do it anymore. I was tired of people. No matter, it's putting a Band-Aid on a shotgun wound, trying to teach people how to be good drivers.
So that's actually interesting because so there are a couple questions. I should have written this down, but so first off, I wanted to ask how you got into it, and then I also wanted to kind of ask, was it purely just for the money, or did you also kind of feel like you were doing a community service kind of thing?
I could care less if people die. I mean, let's be honest. I want more death. I want less people on the planet. I thought COVID was going to finally be our redeemer and get rid of a lot of the clowns, but you know, everybody made it through because it wasn't really a thing.
I know. And you know what? We got a strike for saying that on the first episode. I don't give a fuck, Jay. Strike it up, motherfucker. COVID was fake. Go on.
Well, here's the thing. It wasn't. So it was bad disease. We can all agree on that. Like my wife, Maggie, she got it. She got it from me. I was done. I was fine after about 6 days. And then she ended up in ICU for 2 weeks.
Oh, jeez.
But she made it through because God only answers her prayers. But like a lot of people, you know, and if you were already sickly or if you already had, you know, multiple things going on, then yeah, it was going to be rough for you. But if you were young, healthy, it wasn't. That we should have never shut down. It was all a lie. And if you trace the money, you're going to see that Big Pharma just got even richer. That's all it was. And that and that there were people who made tons of money, Nancy Pelosi, and a lot of the lefties who wanted to keep things locked down because once they realize that they can control the people, then they'll never give up the power once they've taken it. And that it just set a bad precedent for them being able to shut shit down. We should have risen up and killed all of them and then started over. That would have been a wonderful thing. And when I say killed, I mean, like hang them or something because they're traitors.
Well, Day of the Rope, I think that's what they call it, right?
The Day of the Long Rope?
Yeah, where they press all street signs into service, And
Yeah.
then they all dangle and all that kind of stuff. It was silent that night. All you could see were the bodies. Every street sign was pushed into service.
I think realistically, the problem has become our government is not afraid of us, and they do whatever the fuck they want.
Why
and they should
they
be
be?
afraid of it. They're supposed to work for us. Like when you have employees, they're supposed to be afraid of you, and that's the other thing. That's indicative of America in general. We've allowed the employees to behave so badly and get away with it, and that we shouldn't. Like if someone's shitty at a job, you should be able to fire them with impunity and put them on the street, so that then eventually, they start looting, and then you shoot them because you should shoot looters. After every riot, they should shoot looters, and that'll stop that shit. But we have too many people. See, it's a full circle. We have too many people. And how do you get rid of them? You get rid of the dirt bags. You get rid of all the malingerers. You get rid of all the Democrats. It's terrible.
Well, I was thinking, how they have bait cars, they should have like bait loot shops. They should have like a big Gucci store, like fake, you know what I mean? And it's like filled with a bunch of, kind of Wile E. Coyote-esque,
When they open up
traps.
when they open up the bag, then it explodes and kills them. And
There's one of those circle bombs with a fuse in it, and they have to get the big old wolf eyes, and like, what?
that would be great, racist.
I know. Well, why do you say that's a black looter? You just said that. That shows that you're racist.
No, it's because I'm going off of the probabilities.
Okay. That's because I say Gucci store, and white people don't wear Gucci?
No, it's because just looting.
Looting.
As a general rule, when looting happens, it's usually by the brothers.
When the white man loots, though, he loots the banks. You know what I'm saying?
That's
When
right.
the white man loots, he get a bailout. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right. When the white man loots, he doesn't burn the building to the ground.
When the white man loots, he pollutes the environment. You know what I'm saying? He looting mother
When the
Earth.
white man loots, he pollutes. I like that. That's very Nipsey Russell-esque.
When the white man pollutes, the black man should start to shoot. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
See, I honestly believe that good black people don't loot, same as good white people. I think what we've done, though, is the Democrats have kept slavery alive by creating plantations in the cities so that they can make sure that they keep black people poor and indoctrinated in a eternal voting block in every major city in the United States so they can control that. That's why they love it. They love it when black children are fatherless because then they can destroy the family even more.
Oh, no, 100%.
Wake up, brothers.
No, 100%. Well, I think they know that. I think black people have been the first ones that were telling that the government used welfare to disestablish the freaking black family because there's more benefits to single mothers.
Oh,
than there
for
were
sure.
Yeah, so that they've been
Malcolm
ringing
X.
that bell
Malcolm
forever.
X said the best thing I ever heard, that there's nothing worse for the black man in America than a white liberal.
Oh yeah,
Right.
dude, Malcolm X ruled on a lot of levels. Man,
I like Malcolm X.
What?
I like Malcolm X. He was
Yeah.
good. He was solid. And he looked a lot like Denzel Washington,
He also had red hair.
right? You know who else did? Red Fox.
Oh, really? Red Fox rules too.
Apparently Malcolm X and Red Fox were friends too.
How could you not be?
Oh, I loved Red Fox, man. I had a couple of his old comedy albums. They're hilarious. He was so dirty.
Man.
And he was dirty at a time when, like the fact that Sanford and Son ever aired.
That's so funny. I never knew how good Sanford and Son was until I was like, I think I was like 27 or 28 when I first saw it.
You see it on Nick at Night or something?
No, I had never seen it on Nick at Night. I think I don't know how I discovered it, but I was watching it on like YouTube and I started watching full episodes and I was like, this is the funniest shit because it's just so mean. It's just, first off, Sanford's just an alcoholic, lazy asshole. He's like the first Homer Simpson. He's just this like lazy, like alcoholic dude, and he's just talking mad shit to I don't know if it's his aunt or like aunt-in-law or whatever, sister-in-law, right?
I think it was his sister-in-law.
That's what I thought.
Esther.
Yeah, Esther and all that. That was some of the funniest shit, and it was like racial and stuff too. Like
It was, but it was also, there was an era of television which I don't think it could ever, that early to mid 70s, Sanford and Son, All in the Family, the Jeffersons, where they took a radical approach to racism and race and made it funny. And they also, I think that was an era where you could still joke about stuff. And, because most adults I know, if you're an adult and you're working, no one gives a shit what anyone else does. Everyone's too busy living their own lives. Good people tend to not be racist because they're working and they're doing the thing. It's the people who have time to worry. It's kind of like in comedy when comedians worry, oh, why'd you get that gig? Or how'd you
Oh my God, that's such a great fucking point. People that are worried about,
they're
whatever.
usually the shit people too, because the ones who have to talk shit about other people the whole time. And there's only, like, I have a couple people I probably do just because I've hated them for,
Dude, when you used to give Todd Larson shit, that was some of the funniest shit.
Poor Larson.
Oh my God.
Todd's all right. He's a
Well, you're a
dope.
sweetheart to him. You're his fucking benefactor or whatever.
For a long time ago. Then he turned on me after I had him leave the apartment. Him and Johnny Luna, and I had to get away from those guys. But also, I have no ill will towards any of those guys. They were actually very good friends for a long time. And sometimes you just lose, you lose a reason to be around people. Like, I would have never been friends with a lot of people outside of comedy without comedy that I have been. They're just not, they're not the type of people, like, I like people who are motivated and hardworking. And it's I've always held at least one or two jobs. And there's certain things, like there are certain people who, they weren't bad people. They wouldn't have been buddies of mine in real life. But also, I don't wish ill on it. I could give a shit with anyone. That's the one thing, as an adult, you realize that your struggle is the only thing that matters to you. And that if you really, I don't worry about what anyone else does. I want to get through my day. I got enough problems with Maggie, just trying to get through the week with her because she's a pain in my ass.
So when did you get married? I saw that happened. And I'm really happy for you, man.
I don't know, 3 years now, 3 years,
Wow.
2.5 years. I don't know, long enough so that it's all right. It's all right. Like, I think relationships are, honestly, I'd rather be alone, but it's nice that there'll be someone there if I die to make sure that the dogs and cats don't eat me. So I think that's one of the fears, is that you're just dead and that the pets eat you, and then they have to put the pets down because they've tasted human flesh. And I would hate for that to happen, because my cats and dogs are pretty badass. So we got a lot of cats. We got 3 cats and 2 dogs. So, and we got fish and a snake. I fucking hate snakes too. I'm not a fan.
You don't like snakes?
No, I got bit by a garter snake when I was a kid. So I've always been a little like, nah, when it comes to snakes.
Yeah, well, it's weird when people be like, "Oh, you don't like snakes?" Not much to like about them. You kind of either like tolerate snakes. I kind of imagine people that are like,
I think they have a very important job as far as keeping vermin down.
"Oh, you mean like tempting women into kicking us out of paradise? Is that their role in the ecosystem?"
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, women. Let's just be honest, it's women that are evil. It wasn't the snake.
No, I've been getting into that. I have this whole bit about how tits prove that women are evil, because if you put tits on a man, it's hilarious and you just laugh at him and shit. If you put tits on a woman, it's like, oh my God, this is beautiful and mysterious. And
you mean like our Surgeon General?
Oh my God, dude, don't even get me started. You know what? Oh my God. It's so funny, Jay, because, when it comes to this whole funny world that we live in, what do you think that Russia's right? The Russia should be taking over Ukraine, right?
I think that there's a lot more to it than we as Americans are privy to. I think the Ukraine is not the innocent victims that they've tried to portray themselves to be. The Ukrainians had the most Waffen SS soldiers during World War II.
They have Nazis now. What are
They have
called?
Nazis now, but
Yeah.
like probably every country has Nazis. I mean,
But they have like a whole division. What are they called? The fucking. I had it in my head because I wanted to bring it up. But people know it's Asimov Battalion or whatever. Asimov Battalion. They have those people in the thing right now. It's like a part of their battalion.
I don't know that. If that's something you could verify for me.
Right now.
Yeah, look it up. I don't know because it's again something I don't care about. I know the Ukrainians aren't particularly great people, and
The Azov Battalion.
I like the Russians just because we are going to be in a war with China at some point, and we need Russia to be on our side in it. Because if Russia and China join together to fight the United States, we're going to lose. But if we have Russia on our side, we could definitely take China without many. We could probably take China anyways. I mean, our technology is better. Although, the fact that they can float a giant balloon over our country and take people were like, well, it's just a balloon. Yeah, well, it is floating over our missile silos and shit in the Dakotas. That should have never happened. We have the weakest leader in the world right now.
Yeah, that was the most insane shit. The fact that the people were like, the fact that I even heard about that there's a Chinese balloon. I'm like, why am I hearing about this? Why isn't it just gone and then, swept up and shit? You know what I mean? Like, the fact that I'm even hearing about this is like they're trying to make us feel weak. It's like they're trying to make us feel like we can't do anything and stupid and like trying to scare people. It's like, this is fucking... Oh my God.
Well, because we have a weak leader who's got ties to China for money and his son.
It's not even a weak leader. He's obviously put in there to fucking destabilize this fucking country. You know what I mean? All these people, these globalists are trying to destabilize America so that they can get in with this globalist system. They're trying to make everybody so fucking broke so we get a part of this goddamn universal welfare system and shit.
Oh, they do. They want, it's called the Great Reset.
No, 100%. And dude, the craziest shit is that whole COVID thing that you're bringing up. Greatest wealth transfer in all of fucking history. All these small businesses that just got fucking snuffed out. And then all these pieces of shit that get these PPP scams and all that, dude. They should be fucking hung, dude.
Oh,
because we're still paying that shit. We're paying off those fucking PPP scams and shit.
Oh, yeah.
PPP. I don't know.
Yeah, the personal
Ps.
protective equipment. Yeah, PPE.
Yeah, there you go. PPP. Either way. Here we go.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. And we should have never, and no, we should have also never given stimulus checks. We should have never done that because ideally what the stimulus check was an advance on your income tax return.
It worked out for me because I was working at Applebee's and they kicked me out of Applebee's. I was so fucking pissed. I went there the next day and I was like, you better let me in because what the fuck is this shit? I called up Applebee's customer service. I was I was like, let me talk to corporate. I was pissed. Obviously, they didn't put me through. So I just left a bunch of voicemails. And I got gradually drunker and started pretending to be people. And I was like, this is Shaquanda. This is some goddamn bullshit. I want to go to work and all that. You got to understand, I was in a crazy place, people. This wasn't racism. I wasn't where I was supposed to be. And I thought maybe Shaquanda would get some goddamn fucking answers when Alonzo wasn't getting no fucking answers. Either way, the fact that they gave me that stimulus check, I was able to use that to go fucking get a course in IT training, and then I got a job at TurboTax. I'm sure a lot of people didn't fucking do that. I know a lot of people didn't do that.
Most people did.
I know, which sucks for them.
The amount of flat screen TVs that got purchased for that shit.
I bought some stupid shit. I bought a chemistry set. I bought a chemistry because I thought I was going to learn chemistry. I was like, well, let me learn math because I never learned chemistry. Let me try to teach myself this. Then it turns out I had to learn metric. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a whole extra step. It's like, all right.
Yeah, it was disgusting, and they should have never had unemployment. They shouldn't have unemployment. Shouldn't even be a thing. Either work, and then you know what? If you lose a job, there's always another job out there. It might not be what you want to do.
But at that point, there wasn't any jobs. That's what I'm saying. There really wasn't.
Comedy dried up within 2 weeks after the whole COVID thing started.
I was so happy because I had quit comedy like a year before. So I was so happy that everybody else was out on their ass. I'm like, ha ha ha! That's what you get for trying, assholes. Ha ha.
Well, I lost thousands of dollars in bookings in a very short.
Not you, Jay. I meant everybody. But
oh
you.
No.
Yeah, of course.
No. Everyone. I agree with you though. Fuck everybody. I I ended up losing a bunch of money, and it wasn't because nothing's guaranteed in this life. I mean, you can be booked for shit and then the club closes, or you get booked for stuff and then you're double booked. I mean, things happen, whatever. But I lost a lot of bookings, and then I ended up I had to get a job, like find something to do. I ended up working at an Amazon warehouse.
Oh wow, how long did you do that?
I did it for I guess about 9 months. 9 months, but not really, because I started up and then I was doing it, and then things started opening up again, and I picked up a bartending gig.
That's
and
nice.
I picked up a couple other things, and I have a wood shop, so I was making like rustic flags and stuff like that, and making some coin with that, and then I ended up I had built up, like in Amazon. I gotta be honest, it was hard. It was a day. You know, you'd go in and you'd work. I'd get I'd walk 10 miles while I was there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was some days, especially because you basically in the morning would go in and you'd sort shit, and then afterwards you'd load up the carts for the trucks. Then after that you'd bring the carts all back in and get them staged, and that was your day. And it wasn't terrible, but people were fine. My biggest problem is that there were so many lazy people who look for any reason not to work hard, and then I'd be like, "Come on, you fucks." I ended up getting to a point though where I became what they call a learning ambassador, so I helped with training other employees.
Snitch.
And then after I got to that position, I was like, "Yeah, I got to get out of here." So I kind of they have a thing called PTO, and which is paid time. What was it?
Paid time off.
No, but then there's also where VTO.
Voluntary time off.
Yeah, voluntary time off, and they'd offer VTO, and I started taking it earlier and earlier every day until it was almost like I'd clock in and they'd think, "We have 6 VTO spots." I'd be like, "That's me," and I'd just leave. I'd go home, and then I'd do other shit. I'd drive some Uber or Lyft or something.
That's a better thing for you, though. I don't see you on Amazon. I see you as a bartender or as like a Lyft driver, so you can talk and get some tips, you know?
That, and just being able to, it's good to have flexibility. And like ideally what I'd like is to, get to a point where, Maggie and I want to get a piece of property where we can raise microgreens and try to sell them and do.
How much space do you need for that? How many acres?
Oh, not a lot really. You can do that. You can make. I mean, if you're consistent about it and you have a play, because the idea is to build a barn dominium and then have an area outside where you need about probably 2,000 square feet of garage where you could just build them all or grow them all and stuff. But there's other stuff like having a little bit of having organic eggs and things like that. The problem is with eggs, because eggs are so expensive right now because they keep killing off. That's the other thing, is that the government has a hand in killing off millions. Now it's millions and millions of chickens all over because of avian flu that they said. So what happens is if one of the birds tests positive for avian flu, they'll kill 100,000 birds.
They just kill them?
They just kill them, yeah. They
don't put them on like antibiotics.
Well, no, they don't. I'm not really sure. And this is the thing. I don't know how it starts, but I know a lot of this shit everything terrible in history starts in Asia or Africa.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
every major disease, plague, they all come from over there.
Isn't it like where humanity started? Right?
Who knows? Well, also, we've had, about every 6,500 years, is it, that the Earth basically has a massive kill-off.
Or it just shits all over itself and just wipes the whole world
Wipes off, most of the people on it. So, I mean, ideally, where Mesopotamia, is that where civilization started?
Where's that at? Is that in Africa or is that?
I want to
like...
say it's northern Africa.
Yeah, right. That sounds about right. I think that's where the cradle of civilization, right?
That's where they say at the top of the Nile.
Okay.
Because the Nile was, and that's the same as that's why people always lived around water sources because you'd want to live.
People always talk about the Nile. I don't believe it.
Denial. Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's stupid.
Oh, my God.
That's
Until
silly.
the Jews are destroyed. Why does that keep going on?
I know. They really want you to see that. So I put on Russian Times News because I couldn't find Al Jazeera in time. But yeah, and it stinks because there was one that had just, it's nonstop. Just every other thing is once the Jews are destroyed, there will be peace on earth. And I know, I don't think
Oh,
Russian
my
Times
God.
was saying that.
Abdoulaye Diop.
Oh, dude. I didn't know he was still around doing his thing.
Yeah, he's my favorite hip hop artist.
Yeah. You know, I used to think Malcolm X was a hip hop artist when I was growing up.
You know what? He's not making his excuses for their relationship with Russia.
Million foreign minister, we will not make excuses for our relations with Russia. They shouldn't. Why should they? What's wrong?
If the United States isn't giving them money, then someone has to.
You know that if Trump was in office,
Oh, none of this shit would be happening.
none of it would be happening. He would have been like, wait 4 more years, then do whatever you want. I don't care.
Trump is probably running for real. Is going to run again.
I don't want him to. Dude, he's stupid. Have you seen his first thing? He's like, we're going to kill drug dealers. Like, first, no, you're not, Trump. You're not going to kill drug dealers. First off, just build the, that's what I'm saying. It's like, stop trying to just oversell me when you already undersold the first thing. Just do what you were supposed to do the first time. You don't got to come. You'd be like, hey, you know what we were doing the first time? First off, we're going to fix this economy. I'm going to get us back on track with all this bullshit he was doing. We're going to wipe that out and get back on track, and we're going to finish that fucking wall. You don't got to start making up shit about like, oh, we're going to start, you don't got to keep on promising extra shit, Trump. Just stick to the fucking plan because DeSantis is coming for that
If you look at the list of stuff that Trump got done quietly, see the weird thing about
he rules. No, I mean, whatever. He did a lot of
he
great
did a lot
shit,
of good
and
stuff.
he distracted people from doing it because he did some stupid tweet shit. A lot of people don't.
If he didn't tweet or have social media, he'd still be president. We had the most booming economy. But all because.
But is it that
if he had never had that tape come out, this is about the grab your pussy thing.
Oh my God, yeah, that was a hard one. Even when people bring it up, you gotta go.
Why? That's why guys talk to each other.
Yeah, it is. But that's what I'm saying. It's like
when I'm hanging out with my buddies back home, that's all we do is say filthy shit just because it's funny.
Yeah.
You think it's funny, like, oh man, I spat her in the face with my goo gobbler, and you just say stupid shit like that because it's funny because that's how a lot of guys talk. And I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm just saying that's how a lot of men talk to each other.
No, I'm not saying. Dude, trust me, I'm not going to be the guy that says I don't say fucking filthy ass shit to people constantly, and or about like whatever. It's like I completely get that. I'm just saying, also. If a tape like that came out, when I was running for president, it would be pretty.
I can't run for office for anything. There's so much shit that I've done and so much shit that I will continue to do because I don't care. I don't care, and I don't care if you're a criminal. I want them to hang you. I want them to hang criminals on the side. I want the police.
What's like the worst crime that you should be hung for? Like violent crimes?
I think if you rape,
obviously. Okay, I'm saying
no, and I'm not saying the way rape is defined now either, which isn't really rape.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, hold the chick. Whatever. Okay, so we know. Okay, rape, obviously. Murder, obviously. Whatever. Child molestation, obviously. So like, what's the least thing you should be hung for? That's what I want to get to. The least thing.
I think people who are egregious with their driving. I think if you change lanes 3 times without a signal, they should hang you because you're clearly an asshole. If you don't return your shopping cart 3 times at a grocery store in a row, then they should hang you.
Well, here's my point about that. Here's my point about not returning your shopping cart. A lot of people say that. I used to be a shopping cart pusher, right? I wouldn't have that job if I didn't have assholes not returning their carts. Those assholes are creating jobs.
No, you would because you would just collect them from the things.
They can have a robot do that now.
They don't have robots that can do that.
Jay, now who sounds naive?
They don't. They do. I know they do have
You seen
the
those machines,
robot
right?
cart that the people push.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, and I mean,
They still
one
need the person to
though.
do that.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually they'll have a Roomba.
That's
type
the cotton gin
device.
taking away my slave job and all that. It's that robot cart's doing the job of 5 cart pushers.
Yeah, yeah. But
Oh, also, I think you'll probably like this. I always get pissed off at black people blaming white people for slavery when the black people sold the black people to the white people.
Yeah, they did. There's a lot of but there's also a lot of realistic black people who are like, you know what? Yeah, we did do that, and black people also own black people in the United States.
That must have been nice.
But the other side to it is, the only place in the world where slavery still exists is in Africa.
Yeah, right.
So like they actually still have slave markets.
And also, the only people that stopped slavery were white people.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're the only. Yeah. White people have made the world better for everybody.
In every way possible.
Yeah, but there's also. I mean, there's a ton. There's a ton of shitty white people out there.
And they also made the world worse in almost every way possible too. When you think about it, it's like, the people that do the best, like the most good and the most evil, are usually white.
No, the most evil is usually black and brown, but
that's
Asians are the most evil.
I mean, let's say it this way: one black dude kills like 9, even he kills like 9, whatever. Just like what I'm saying, usually black people just kill other black people, or gang members, or criminals, and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, that's not always the case. And I'm not saying that's a good thing, but usually black people's biggest problem is to themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a crab in a bucket mentality and shit. So what I'm talking about
but it's also, isn't it poor people?
But when it comes to the banking system and all that, like whoever's in charge of the banking system probably ain't a black guy. Probably maybe a Chinese guy, probably a Jewish guy, but mostly his skin's probably white. It ain't.
Well, I think you nailed it a little while with the old
Russian Times scroll.
But by the way, just kidding, Illuminati. But the fact of the matter is, I think everything now is less about race. It's more about economics, and it's more about people are wildly stupid about history. Because they've been given, too many people have gone to college and not gotten an education. What they do is they go to college and they get indoctrinated into a left-wing mentality, which is terrible. By the way, if you really want to hate anyone, hate the college system for having a liberal arts requirement, which requires an extra year of college for you to get your degree, because you have to take, 36 credits in these liberal arts courses, which you don't need. Not one of those things. You should be, as soon as you go to college, your degree plan should be, what are you going to school for? I want to be a botanist. All right. You're doing botany shit. You're out in 2 years. Then you don't have $100,000.
Who the fuck's a botanist anymore, though?
Oh, really? Tons of, yeah. Where do you think, in the future, food is going to be the greatest currency? As it is right now, we have massive food shortages. They're talking about in China that there are going to be millions of people dying from starvation. And Chinese, by the way, don't give a fuck. They're like, we got a couple, we got 1.5 billion. We don't
eat each other.
Yeah. Oh, they do too, by the way. And throughout history, that's not an uncommon thing when massive starvation occurs. And the first thing after they eat their pets, then they eat children. And because we can make more children. It's happened in Russia. It's happened in China numerous times. And China is one of those countries.
My friend didn't know about the China one-child policy. I blew their mind about that. I was like, how did you not know about that?
In China, yeah, because of that, they have a weird thing because...
That only stopped in, I think, 86 or something, right?
It did, but now China has a very large population of elderly people. And they're about to have, in the next 15 years, a large chunk of their population... I thought
COVID just knocked that all out for them.
Well, parts of it did. But keep in mind, though, in China, so when they're like, you will quarantine to your house, you will not go outside, people don't because they'll shoot you.
Well, they also just weld you into your house. Like, they'll just lock you in.
Yeah, they're just animals.
Yeah. No, China's... do you hear about their sewer grease problem?
Their sewer grease?
Yeah, they straight up take like grease from the sewers and like refine it down because they use grease so much in most of their cooking because most of their cooking stir fry that there's like they say about 10% of the grease there is like the sewer grease thing.
I have never heard that.
It's disgusting. I'll show you about it. It's a real thing too. It's a like there's so much nasty shit about China that people don't know because it's considered offensive, you know, but it's like it's a real thing. It's fucking true. You ever heard of boy eggs? I don't want to get into it. Fucking, but we can get into China. Trust me. But history is interesting. You know, you learn a lot of different things about people, a lot of different things about culture.
Yeah, that's disgusting. That's it's really disturbing.
It is, but know what I think is a kind of a cool place though. Or okay, let me ask you this. So here's some other questions I had for Mr. Lafarr. Have you ever been out of the country?
Yeah.
All right. Where? Let me see. What country do you feel has the weakest men?
The weakest men?
Yeah, that you could just like fuck. The strongest dude of this country, you could just fuck him up.
Oh man, that's so. I haven't been around and also known a lot of fighters over the years. I think it's weird because like it's usually like Russians are tough people. Mexicans, they aren't the biggest breed, but I've met some big Mexican dudes. Who are tough sons of bitches too.
They're also wily, and they probably fight dirty.
Yeah, but you're supposed to fight dirty. Like if you want, like if you have to fight someone, then fight dirty. There's no Marcus of Queensberry rules in a bar fight. If you can distract the guy and punch him in the balls before you kick him in the teeth, that saves you. Why would I allow myself to get hit by someone?
Okay, here's a question. You just got me thinking. What's like a good movie where you see like a hero that's like a dirty fighter? You know what I mean? Except for I guess Indiana Jones when he shoots the guy when he's supposed to do the sword fight. You know what I mean? You don't think of a lot of like classic. This guy's like a dirty fighter. He's like he takes care of himself, but he's like doesn't really. He doesn't play. Usually they want the guy to be like a martial artist or have like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's kind of a cooler thing though if the person's a dirty fighter because it seems like it's more smart.
Well,
and
it's just
ruthless.
because most of the action heroes are martial artists.
Yeah.
Jason Statham, right? Stallone, in First Blood, maybe.
But he's also like a soldier. It's like what I wanted is like somebody that's more of a street tough. So it's like I'm thinking is like usually back in the day where you might have characters like that. Usually just they'd just give him a right sock across the jaw, like a film noir kind of thing.
Yeah.
You don't really have like. Maybe History of Violence, but that's probably the only time you see somebody that's really like. You've seen that movie?
No, who's in it? Is it the guy from Lord of the Rings?
I forget it, but it's about a dude that's like an ex-mafia guy, and he's like head of the mafia kind of thing, and he's living in a small town, and some like burglars come in, and
didn't he play the ranger in Lord of the Rings?
Oh, fuck, I'll look it up. 1 second. I'm sure. See, I think I've seen Lord of the Rings one time.
That's a crime.
Really? Have you read the books? You know what? I think I watched Lord of the Rings at your house one time. Wait a second. Maybe I didn't. But because I went over there to watch a movie with you. What did we watch? Was it Almost Famous? What the fuck did we watch? I forget.
Teen tranny cock blockers.
No, that was well, that probably was it actually. Now that I think about it. I'm saying, that was the European title. I was saying, so this fucker, it's David Cronenberg. Who's this dude? See, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was the Ranger in
Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it was him. But he's so dope because these two robbers come into his like diner and he just fucks them up.
Yeah, because he's a cook, right?
Yeah. He's like, he owns the diner. It's like his family's diner or whatever. It's like he's got his kids probably upstairs or some shit, and he just like wrecks the fuck out of him. He like hits the dude in the face with. He just like does the whole like this thing up the nose, like does all like the dirty tricks you're not supposed to do to a person, and then he gets on the news because they're like this local diner guy, like whatever, and then
but he'd been a former mafia hitman.
Yeah, they're like, we got to get this guy, and then that's kind of and then I think he goes and has to take out the mob or something because I think he was like the son of he used to be like the son of. I guess he was like the Sonny Corleone of, the Godfather family or whatever.
Oh, Sonny Corleone, man. One of the best movie deaths.
Okay, so you've seen that movie a lot, Godfather, right?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, so when I was rewatching it, I don't even know why I was rewatching this one scene because I just rewatch scenes in The Godfather a lot because it's so fucking good. It's just you just watch the scenes.
Oh, yeah.
They're so good on the loan. But when he goes to talk to when Sonny and fucking the consigliere.
Tom,
there
Tom
you go.
Hagen.
Yeah, Tom Hagen, thank you. And Sonny are talking to Vito Corleone, and they're trying to get him to have a sit down with the drug dealer guy. Yeah. Did you ever notice that they look super coked up and stuff? And then
They probably were.
So and the Don's all like, "Oh, did you get some rest or something like that? Because he's been flying all night and all that." And it's just like, and then he like cleans up, but then fucking Sonny's doing all this like weird coked out shit. We're just like looking at random shit in the room, just like really like tweaked out and stuff. It's really weird. I had not noticed it until then. I'll have to show you the scene later. I'm not gonna play it on the thing.
I don't know why my boy Sonny, he's acting all like he's coked up.
Yeah, 1 second. I'll play it real quick. Let me see. Sonny, Tom, Vito.
Yeah. The most difficult thing with rice and wheat. They're talking about that on the thing.
Rice and wheat. Oh, right over here.
Yeah, ship grain, including to Africa, of course, Ukrainian.
So he's talking about we're watching the Russian Times still. Oh, and they're in Sudan, in Somalia.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're talking about how Ukraine's really fucking everything up for everybody, like a bunch of assholes. And Ukraine needs to stop.
You're not too tired, are you, Tom?
Yeah, look, see. Shit. Tell me he's not like super blowed out on this.
You're not too tired, are you, Tom?
I slept on the plane.
Huh?
I have the Salazzo notes here. Now, Salazzo is known as the Turk.
The Turk.
He's supposed to be very good with a knife.
But only in matters of business with some sort of reasonable complaint. His business is narcotics. He has fields in Turkey where they grow the poppy. In Sicily, he has the plants to process them into heroin. Now he needs cash, and he needs protection from the police, for which he gives a piece of the action. I couldn't find out how much. The Tattaglia family is behind him here in New York. Now they have to be in it for something.
What about his prison record?
2 terms, one in Italy, one here. He's known as a top narcotics man.
Santino, what do you think?
There's a lot of money in that white powder.
Huh?
Well, I say yes. There's more money potential in narcotics than anything else we're looking at. Now, if we don't get into it, somebody else will. Maybe one of the 5 families, maybe all of them. Now, with the money they earn, they can buy more police and political power. Then they come after us. Now we have the unions, we have the gambling, and they're the best things to have. But narcotics is a thing of the future. If we don't get a piece of that action, we risk everything we have. I mean, not now, but 10 years from now.
So? What's your answer gonna be, Pop?
There, Don Corleone. I need a man who has powerful friends. I need $1 million in cash. I need, Don Corleone, those politicians that you carry in your pocket, like so many nickels and dimes.
What is the interest for my family?
30%. In the first year, your end should be $3-4 million.
All right, everybody, that was The Godfather.
And then it would go up.
And I thought that they were on coke in the beginning. I don't know if that's true or not. But maybe I was just on coke when I was watching it. And I was like, man, you know you're on coke and you just think everybody else is on coke?
No.
Okay, so here's what I wanted to ask. So did you hear about the whole Kanye West thing?
What about him?
Well, apparently he went on some sort of Russian news-style anti-Semitic tirade.
Okay, so I remember he did something like that. I don't know. Kanye, what I don't understand is why people give him any more credibility than he should get. I mean, he's just a singer. So the fact that people even pretend that, yeah, is that better?
No, yeah, I'm trying that one because
The fact that people even pretend that any celebrity, anything they say holds any weight is absolutely insane. Kanye was a recording artist who I honestly couldn't tell you a Kanye song if it fucking fell on my head. I have no idea. I don't know any of his music. I don't listen to it. I don't listen to hip hop. I think hip hop, like I'll hear a song every now and then. Oh, okay, that's all right. But for the most part, it's just not my thing. I like Billy Strings and Johnny Cash and the Allman Brothers. I like music. I like people who actually make music, not people who press buttons and have a DJ, you know? So,
You like Motown?
Motown, yeah, it's fantastic. A lot of any music really before, and then also like most music now is just, who is it? There's this fucking song. Miley Cyrus does a song. I can buy my own flowers or something. I forget what the fucking song is. But it's I can buy my own flowers. I can. It's because it's gotten to a point where women are such cunts half the time that they can't hold on to a man. So they need to buy their own flowers. They need to start, buying themselves gifts on Valentine's Day because women have gone so far off base.
Yeah, how is that a self-empowering kind of thing? Really, it's kind of silly where it's like the flowers being given to you aren't like, it's like, why would you buy yourself flowers? That's kind of stupid. It's like that's probably why you don't have a guy is that you're so narcissistic that you want to buy yourself flowers. Like, why, it's like the flowers are supposed to be like a token of, of somebody's like, oh, you're so special to me that I'm going to buy these stupid ass fucking things for you. And it's like, I'm so special to me that I'm going to buy me these stupid ass things for me.
Well, I think a big problem is that women have become just such, played out whores for the most part that decent men don't want a woman who's been run through.
But I mean, here's the other thing too. I hate to just blame it on men and hate to be that kind of guy because I really don't give a, these women, I'm a one man kind of guy and that one man's Jay Lafarr. I don't even like these bitches. You know what I mean? But what I'm trying to say is that, I don't know, is there really a lot for chicks to be like into? You know what I mean? These days, it seems like a lot of dudes are kind of fucking soft and
10%.
Not even just soft, but just like mentally soft. Just like,
oh yeah, well, men don't act like men anymore,
or know how to do shit.
They blurred the line. They blurred the lines because there's no such thing as gender roles. Yeah, there are. Men have specific roles. Women have specific roles.
Gender roles. I thought you said generals. I was like, who's saying there's no such thing as generals? Gender roles. Yeah.
Women it's funny how throughout history, nearly every single society that ever existed, all independent of each other, came up with the same gender roles. And it wasn't by accident. It's because there's certain things which are natural. And we've gone against nature now, and this is what we get. We get an overabundance of trannies and simps. So,
what's the right amount of trannies and simps?
Well, according to my search history in Pornhub, 50%.
50%. I think that's healthy. I think we can agree with that.
You
know how hard it is to find good tranny porn? Most of it sucks because they can't keep a hard on. And that's going out to you trannies, all right? If I'm trying to beat off to you, why don't you do the hard work too,
Right? Take the Viagra.
That's what I'm saying. Who cares a fuck? You guys don't got to do it every time, but just splice it in. Just come on, guys. For me,
the least because most porn is kind of gay. Like if you watch porn, it's kind of gay.
Yeah, I always say on my show,
what do you focus on when you watch porn?
No, but I'm saying what is porn except for two guys fucking?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, if you have a man and a woman fuck, that's half gay because there's one cock there.
Yeah.
And only two boobs. And if you have two women scissor banging, that's gay. That's 100% gay. Two guys fucking, that's 100% gay. But the least gay is when you have a tranny with a woman because there's a penis, but there's four boobs, one vagina, two assholes, and the mix there is the least gay you can have.
Well, how about this though? What about this? What about if it's like a guy with a small penis? He's like out of shape. He's not pleasing the woman at all. She's not into it at all. Isn't that kind of more straight? Because then you're like, you're almost like, this guy sucks. I could be.
Are you talking about sissydom bondage fantasies?
The sissy femdom hypno bondage. That kind of stuff.
That's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of shit out there.
Mouthful, yeah.
that's literally a mouthful. There's a lot of sick shit out. I
a lot of sick shit out there.
I personally don't
sick
really
shit out
watch
there
that
on my
much
computer.
porn anymore, just because I have fucking almost no interest in porn. It's just, it has to be disturbing. Like Two Girls, One Cup was just starting to get around to where I'm at.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then they stopped, and then I found out that it was just they put cake frosting up her butt with an enema bag.
Oh, so you didn't want it. So when you watched Jurassic Park and you found out that it wasn't a real Tyrannosaurus Rex, it ruined it for you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Your asshole park. That could have been the one that they do.
Yeah, but doesn't that and that see that's you don't want to see behind the curtain sometimes. You don't want to see.
You want to see how sausage is made.
Sometimes you don't, especially. Oh man, there's a great video on transsexual women getting gender reaffirming surgery called "How the Sausage Is Made." Yeah,
oh my god.
Yeah, it's rowdy. What's worse is when they get when women get gender affirming surgery to become men, and they get the penis, and they get like the leg skin cut off to graft into like a sausage penis, and then sometimes it has hair, and they have to like shave it.
That's a lot. That's a lot to right? think about. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's almost like, but why? You know, and you also got to wonder like, how is that doctor like not? You know, I mean, like, why are we mad? I'm not even. There's certain people that we shouldn't be mad at, but then we're not mad at these doctors. They just get to like roam free and cut tits off and cut dicks off and screw fucking fake dicks onto pussies and everybody.
But you know, like, if that's what completes your life, if you're an adult,
yeah. If you're an adult, that's what I'm saying. But also, I mean, yeah, be an adult. But at the same time, it's like, if somebody's like, oh, I feel completed by having one of my legs removed, because there are people like that.
Oh yeah, the people that want to have stuff. I've heard about that. Yeah. That's bizarre.
That's what I'm saying. It is bizarre. It is bizarre. But but you know, and if you're at a certain age, it's like, then how young? What if I have a 12-year-old? Like, I've always felt this way ever since I was 12 or 8. If only I could have been 8 years old and got my arm cut off. You know what I mean? It's
I've heard that. That's some fucking weird
shit. That's what I'm saying.
Shit.
At what age do we start saying like, all right, well, this dude's mentally fucked and he's never.
Well, that's the thing.
Again,
it is,
you know?
like transies they have mental disorder. It's not, and the fact of the matter is, almost all of them are homosexual men. And they just feel as though their life would be easier if they're a chick. But
well, there's another thing. Have you heard about this one? The ones that are actually like, they get sexually turned on by being a female and all that kind of stuff. And then the problem is that then they like get their penis cut off, and then they can't have that feeling anymore, and they get fucking, because it's called, I think it's called angiophile or whatever, but it's like the sexual whatever. And so a lot of them actually, that's why they're always talking about, I'm so sexy, everyone wants to fuck me, I'm so hot, is because they're just so constantly turned on by this idea of being a female. And
yeah, there's a lot out there that
it's a spectrum, like any kind of sexuality.
I'm saying there's a lot out there that I don't want to think about. Like, you know, God bless them. I have friends who are, you know, trans, whatever, and I think that and a couple of them are comics, and they're funny. They're actually, one of them is super funny.
Yeah, this the new transsexual chick in town, fucking real funny. Like, writes her shit out good.
And then there's a lot who weren't funny. We had one in San Antonio for a while who's also a porn actress.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. She worked at the comedy club for a minute.
Was I around?
I think so. It was 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Yeah, I was around.
What was her name? Tina.
Gia sounds familiar.
She had blonde hair. She's friends with Ruben. Ruben always had a thing for trannies. I think
I got a thing for trannies. I got nothing against them. I mean, I don't got a thing for them.
No, I think you had it right the first time.
Yeah, I like
I have a fascination. Man. I definitely have a fascination with them, and I've seen a few over the years, like in videos, like on YouTube and shit. They're like, holy shit, that's okay. That's closer to a woman than most women you'll see, because they make the effort. They at least put on the makeup and try to look their best whenever they're doing stuff, and they aspire to what most women these days don't, where they just make no effort at all to be attractive. Because, well, if you don't like me at my worst, then you don't deserve me at my best. Well, what am I going to get your best? How about that?
About transsexuals, though, that I know a lot of chicks get annoyed by is like a transsexual be a transsexual for 1 year, and they're talking like they've been a headliner for like, you know what I mean, or whatever. They're like, oh my god, it's so hard being a woman. You know what I mean? And they're talking about like what.
You know what's the worst part when you get your period and your cock gets all bloody?
Yeah.
What?
What the fuck? Be like, people just are trying to mansplain to me, or just like they try to appropriate woman culture. And
that's the worst part, because trannies mansplain to themselves. This
is how you should be a tranny. That's what I'm saying. It's like I think that a lot of this cancel culture stuff gets foisted upon the transsexual community, when I don't think that it necessarily is a lot on them. I think it's a lot of like Karens using their like, oh well, now that we have we can say that this, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you can't do that because it might offend this person.
Yeah,
even though they don't even say anything.
The people now who are offended, like I don't, and I'm pretty sure you're probably similar. I don't get offended by a lot of. There's things that do offend.
I get offended by weird shit that I wouldn't even realize I'm offended by. But it's nothing but what people like. It's not necessarily that. You know what I'm saying?
I'll get offended. Like I don't like to see kids or animals getting harmed.
Well, of course I think that's yeah.
But that's pretty much. But that also doesn't mean that like when someone does a kid fucking joke, that I haven't laughed at that. I've heard some fairly disturbing shit that are jokes that people, and I've been, oh, that's funny. But like the reality is, yeah.
But you're not laughing at that. You're laughing at the funniness of it. It just, that happens to be the medium. You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
Like, that has to be the paintbrush of the,
like,
of whatever the thought
and I've
process
heard
is.
Jesselnick and Louis C.K. and a couple others do bits that I was like, oh wow, that's really fucking really good. And I lean more towards the harder edged comedy anyways, I think, and the less politically correct. But then there are people.
You have a kid fucking joke, but you're the kid that's getting fucked.
Yes.
But I think that's a genius one, because I think that's such a good, I don't know, it's such a deep one, and it's like, it says a lot about, I don't know, a lot about stuff, and also your relationship with, your spirituality and stuff. I don't know. I thought it was an interesting one. Is that still up on YouTube?
Maybe. I had my whole channel deleted a while back.
Oh, really?
So yeah, because I had one that was pretty good. Then I had one that had like some old clips on it. So I've been trying to add stuff to that one. But the weird thing is that if you get, and that I never got a reason why they deleted it too. And I had about a dozen videos on it, and they'd gotten some good hits, and they were well done. They were well produced, because I had, I paid money to have someone come out and tape the shows and do stuff, and then so I don't understand. I hate social media shit as it is now. I've been, out of the last 37 months, 33 of them, I was banned on Facebook for 30 days at a pop. So,
I just stopped giving. I'm just starting to save it for the podcast. Anytime that I want to say some, you know what I mean, something controversial or whatever, I'm just like, I'll just put it on the podcast. So if I'm going to get banned for it or whatever, I'll just, if I'm going to get anything for it, I'd rather like put it down on this, so I can at least add my tone or whatever, my thing. Because there's a lot of times I used to just fight on Facebook all the fucking time.
Oh, I know.
You remember? Yeah. It's like,
but I think a lot of people do, because you could, And then
You're bored, and there's
you
nothing
could
to
say
do.
whatever the fuck you wanted for a while. Like MySpace was
nice.
great. MySpace was the Wild West. You could say whatever the fuck you wanted and argue with people, and then you'd say, "Well, fuck you then. I'm taking you out of my top 8." You dick. But like it was easy. It's easy to argue on Facebook.
And you can have like 8 arguments going at once.
Yeah,
You don't even,
and
it's
especially
so
because
great.
there's so many shit talkers on there, and they're
not good.
And what's his name? Like Anthony Torino.
Oh my God, how's he doing?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him, and I don't even dislike Torino. Like, and Anthony, if you don't know, is like he was a comic here in San Antonio, and he would just argue with everybody all the time. It's like, but like literally for hours and hours.
But he would act like he was tough. I remember one time he was acting like he was going to fight me, and I like took a picture of me standing right next to him. Like, I'm right next to you, Torino, and I posted that in the thread. You know what I mean? He was all hunched over with his freaking glasses on and his no sleeves, shoulders. It's like, how do you have no sleeves and no fucking arms, Torino? What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, he was a weird dude.
He killed though. He killed. Like he was really good on stage.
He would do well, and then also I saw him like if he didn't read the audience properly because he was a super lefty as well. And
But he tried to pretend to be like a freaking offensive right wing kind of guy.
and it wouldn't work a lot of times. But he also, he was funny. I mean, that's the thing. I don't care what anyone's political beliefs are. I mean, if you're a left winger, you're usually...
I'm not trying to say that he wasn't also fucking retarded or whatever.
Yeah,
I just like to bring up the fact that even though he's a fucking retarded cornball, I'm not going to deny the fact that he, was
like I
was
can
a
respect
solid comedian. Yeah,
yeah, like I don't have to like, and that's the way it used to be, where you could actually not like someone's views or something, but you could also acknowledge that they had a talent or that they were.
And the joke was good. The joke
Yeah.
was funny. You don't have to agree with the joke for it to be funny. That's almost like better.
And then when people are like, "Oh, well, why don't you go listen to Fox News?" and I would say, "Well, I would, but I don't have cable." So, and the thing is, Fox News. The only difference between Fox and CNN is the fact that Fox, they don't say that America is racist because they usually look for a little nicer angle, or they'll have a flag on there instead of being anti-American. And that's the other thing. If you're anti-American, I don't give a fuck about you. Die. Just kill yourself. If you're anti-American, kill yourself. If you live here in the United States and you hate America, kill yourself.
Well, I think the American system is pretty fucking bullshit right now. Especially,
I think
it's not really built
I think
for
the
people
country
that are
is
actually
amazing.
I think.
I think the system, the government, is corrupt.
Well, of course. Well, I mean, the land is awesome. The Indians felt the same way. You know what I mean? It's like the country is the shit.
The Indians were losers. They were losers who lost their. You know what the thing is? They were savages who murdered and raped each other.
I think a lot of them were.
I think
a lot of them were.
All of them.
All of them.
And the tribes that by the way, the tribes that we actually encountered when we got here were the ones who had murdered off all the other people. They were the winners.
The winners, they could chill. They could relax on their laurels like America. That's how we could chill because we killed off all the Indians. Oh my God, that's so true. You're
The
right.
problem with the Indians was that what we should have done is just finished it off. Just wiped them out entirely, and then we wouldn't have had to pretend that it mattered. But the problem is we've gotten to a point where we are too civilized. We don't like after slavery. If you really don't want black people in the United States, which I don't know why you wouldn't, because we got to have pro sports teams, right?
Yeah.
But if you didn't want black people in the United States, then they could have repatriated all of the former slaves back to Africa. They could have done that.
That was Abraham Lincoln's idea.
They realized eventually, a young, handsome man of biracial background would become our president, and he would lead us out of the bigotry, out of the anger from former races, which was such a load of shit. Obama was the worst president, and he won the Nobel Prize for fucking nothing.
Obama's a piece of shit, and he also he ruined the auto industry, the secondhand auto industry.
Oh,
that Cash for
Jesus,
Clunkers.
yeah.
Like, dude, he literally just destroyed so much stupid shit. They also did the Fast and the Furious shit. Just probably funded all the fucking cartels.
But he did drop more bombs than George Bush. So,
started more wars. Yeah, there you go. Also, what
he was the same guy. They're all the same fucking clown
or whatever. No, that's what I'm saying. That's the retarded shit. They all are. Like what I'm saying, it's like they're all fucking retarded, and I'm just like, how? So is this Biden dude? Is he a part of the same evil shit that George Bush was, or is this a whole new evil regime?
What I loved about Biden too, during the debates, categorically every single Democrat who was debating him called him a racist, said he was an old school racist, and they pull up a clip of him talking about how he didn't want his kids to live in a racial jungle.
So that's how he won over the white vote.
Right? Here's the thing. Every one of them. But then as soon as he gets the nomination, Kamala Harris is like, yeah, massa, I'll be your vice president. And she is one of the dumbest fucks ever. She is watching her word salad.
They hide her, dude. They hide her. Have you never seen? Well, I guess they also hide Stephen Pence or Mike Pence. What is it? Stephen Pence, whatever. Yeah, but I mean, you never see her. But they also never see Joe Biden, so they have to hide her more than Joe Biden, so you don't see the vice president more than you see the president. So, dude, she's probably real pissed because she probably thought that she was going to be out there doing shit, and she ain't doing nothing. And she's like, I thought this guy was going to die yesterday. What the fuck's going on here? I was told to pick it a poke.
If she becomes president, that would be just a nightmare. But I'm pretty sure.
Well, she becomes president, she guarantees Trump wins. I mean, it's not like anybody's gonna. Well, if somebody gets to become president, you still gotta re-vote in the next year, right? They just had to finish out the term, right? If they're a vice president.
Okay, so if say Biden died,
yeah,
vice president would take the office.
God forbid, of course.
Yeah,
go on.
She would take office, and then in 2024 would, if the Democratic Party gave her the nomination, then they would have to run her. They would run her against whoever. Now, that hasn't happened. It hasn't happened a lot in history. I think the last time in a midterm that a president took over was, and that was Nixon's with Gerald Ford.
Yeah.
Gerald Ford took over and then ran against Jimmy Carter.
He healed the country.
Gerald Ford, by the way, brilliant guy, super, like a great guy. Just ineffective because no one really knew what the fuck he was about. He was that just like a very like steady guy to have in the background for Nixon. And but then once he came into office, yeah, just he wasn't someone who inspired people. And Jimmy Carter was the Donald Trump of that. He was a Washington outsider. He had been a governor of Georgia, but was a peanut farmer, and he'd made a lot of money. You know, he was a wealthy man. Jimmy Carter was, fairly wealthy. Not like Trump wealthy, but then he was a Washington outsider, and that's why he could get almost nothing done because he didn't really understand. And he was brilliant, by the way. Jimmy Carter was one of the founders, or not founders, but one of the first of the officers in the nuclear Navy. Just a brilliant, like a very smart man and a good man too. I think he was probably one of those guys after he left the presidency who became more endeared to the people of the United States because they saw him, with Habitat for Humanity and building houses and shit like that. He didn't become rich off of being in the White House, and that's the thing that Clinton and Obama, both of whom, they didn't have money when they became president, and now are worth, I don't know how much Obama's worth now, but he's got to be worth $100 million probably.
Yeah, because they get all those speaking deals. And
they get those speaking things,
and then they launder money through their books and shit.
Yeah, the Clinton Foundation, which is just corrupt as fuck.
Yeah, no, dude, it's so weird when you try to tell people about how Hillary Clinton's corrupt, and you just sound like
much is Obama worth?
Some kind of like misogynist or some kind of shit. And it's just like, I mean, I think at least Bill Clinton had some charm to him, but I don't know. It's like I don't feel like Bill Clinton was the brains behind it. I feel like it was all Hillary. So I don't know. It's weird, but maybe that was the genius of Bill. Maybe he's like, Hillary, go fucking take the hit for this one. I gotta go chill Jeffrey. Oh, miss my Jeffrey.
The best, one of the most honest men to be president was Harry Truman.
See, I feel like I need to learn more about the president.
Harry Truman was so poor, after being president. That's why they established the pension for presidents.
Never. What's that? Do you even know how much it costs?
I think they get like $400,000 a year for the rest of their life.
Well, that's thank God. That's just right above being in the gutter.
Well, that's what they get now. I think when Harry Truman left office, he had like $60 or so. It was sad. It was embarrassing. He couldn't afford to fly in for the funeral of another president.
Why? What happened there? Was he just bad
He
with
just
his money?
No, he wasn't bad with his money. He was a military guy, and then as a the thing is, public servants aren't supposed to get rich. Like, you could tell how.
But I mean, not rich. But I mean, $60.
No, I'm saying I'm not sure how much he had, but
I get what you're saying. Yeah,
a very small amount,
Yeah.
But like, you're not supposed to make money as a public servant. Like, you should not enter public service and leave it exponentially wealthier than when you went in.
When did that happen? When did that start happening?
I believe that started happening once people realized that they could get insider trading shit. Like, the Pelosi's have become filthy rich since been off. They buy and sell shit off. Like, there's a lot of stuff out there, like the Hammer incident where her husband was sucking some guy's cock.
Oh, when the dude came in, when the cops came, and
the cops came and they were like holding hands, and then they did the hammer dance.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding,
I didn't even see that, but I just heard that he was with a gay prostitute, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right.
But even if he was, the way the Democrats are, like, she's probably good with her husband sucking a cock.
Yeah, I'm sure she is.
So, but what happens is,
and there's nothing wrong with it. Hey, if you want to suck a cock, just make sure your
you
wife's
want to
cool with it.
you want to go to hell, go to hell.
Yeah, if you want to get hit in the head with a hammer by your gay lover, that's up to you.
Right? You want to take a ball peen in your mouth? You fucking turd burglar. But he ended up.
I think
The
Google's a better
Pelosi's
one.
made some. Nancy Pelosi's net worth is.
It sounds like I thought you were a capitalist,
Nancy
Jay.
Pelosi's
Why are you
net
hating
worth.
on these rich people? You sound like a Democrat.
I'm all for people making money.
Mm-hmm.
But she's worth $100 million.
Here, you go on. You can talk regularly. I can hear you. I just
Okay.
take a restroom break real quick.
You got it, buddy. But the Pelosi's are filthy rich. They've been in office. Paul Pelosi's is an investment banker, and he's actually made a ton of money, which only comes from being able to make wise investment choices with insider trading information.
Holy shit, that is insane. He's an investment banker, and he's married to fucking Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah, and people have no problem with that, which is why there should be. And they've introduced this shit a couple times, where you are not allowed to have stocks and buy stocks and stuff while you're in public office. The reason people get into public office is simply to make money now. It has nothing to do. There's no more Mr. Smith goes to Washington bullshit. It's all, how much money can we make? How can we benefit ourselves? And it's just, I am not down with our government thieving money from us. It's just not going to happen.
Well, it's insane. Oh, it's insane. Yeah, I got my mic here. Well, it's insane that during that whole COVID lockdown shit, when you saw these governors that were still getting their fucking haircut and shit like that they weren't fucking, their houses weren't burnt down. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. The mayor of Chicago, the whatever the fuck it is, it's supposed to be a chick, but it looks like a dude.
It wasn't even her. It was like literally everybody, dude. It was literally everybody.
Oh, yeah. What's your
San
name?
Francisco motherfuckers.
AOC would go to vacation in Florida. They all vacation in Florida. That was the fun part. And the reason they went there is because Florida had opened up and it wasn't as douchey as the rest of the states. All the states that opened up early did better than the states that closed down.
And they're the best. Oh, man. I don't forget. I wanted to go to Australia for a while, but then I remember what they did to their people. I'm not going to forget that shit. You guys are pieces of shit. A lot of people forget, dude. A lot of people forget Dude, remember when they're trying to push this vax shit now that everybody's getting heart attacks? Remember what happened last year? They're all like, oh, if you don't get a vax, you don't care about other people. Oh, you're going to die. And if you fucking, man, get the fuck out of here, you fucking assholes. And none of you remember that shit. I want you to remember these people.
And the Alamo. Remember the Alamo.
Yeah, we'll definitely remember the Alamo. We can't forget the Alamo.
These clowns don't want to be, they don't want to know about the Alamo anymore. These kids with their marijuana cigarettes and their Black Sabbath DVDs.
Man.
Where does that leave us? I don't know, man. We've kind of skipped around a lot of stuff today.
We really did. So here's my thing about when you're talking about earlier, when you're talking about like employees sucking, and just customer service sucking in general. Yeah. Well, I think that is like, I think that really relates back to people not knowing how to do anything. Because when like businesses first started, it was a convenience because people already had this kind of shit, So it's like you had to have good customer service as the extra. It's like, why would I pay this person to do some shit that I could do at my house anyway? Because they got the customer service. There's an extra thing.
Well, for the most part, you wouldn't like, and this is why people are dumb and poor now.
True.
Because people pay for shit that they could do themselves, or with just a simple modification of their knowledge base. Sure. Then they could what do you call it? Learn how to do something. A lot of people talk about, our grandparents, he worked as a garbage man. He was able to build a house on that. Yeah, you know why? Because they didn't piss their money away the whole time.
And also, he fucking knew how to use a hammer. And you knew how to fucking, like, dude, some people, what trips me out is I just do regular shit. And, like, basically, I'm kind of arrogant about shit. I feel if a human can do this, I can fucking do this. So there's nothing that, like, can overcomplicate me. Because first off, it's not made to be complicated. It's not, like, made to be a fucking puzzle. It's made to be used and it's made to be fixed easily by a person that knows how to do it. So all you gotta know is just how to fucking do it. And people would just go like, oh, I don't know. It's like, go on YouTube. Just look it up on YouTube. Just look.
YouTube, and that's the thing. The internet, which is garbage for the most part, like social media takes up 90% of internet traffic along with porn, right? Social media and porn, almost all of the internet traffic. It's probably a higher percentage than that. So we're doing a lot of gardening at my house, and I do a lot of woodworking and stuff. And most of the stuff that I've learned about all of that is just watching YouTube videos. I was watching a lot of Netflix during the COVID thing, and now like I probably still watch 2 hours of videos a day, but it's all like instructional shit on YouTube for the most part. And then an episode of Seinfeld or something. They have, if you want to learn, like I have a worm farm.
Nice.
Yeah, so I can get vermiculture. I want to get better stuff for my plants. So I bought worms, and I got a worm for Christmas. Maggie got me a worm farm, and so and it's good because the food scraps all go in there, and also in our compost bins outside we do a lot of composting. And I also got a shredder so we can shred all the cardboard. Like, we're trying to go put as much back into the soil as we can and recycle as much other stuff, which I think everyone should do. I think recycling is important. It's and also leaving. One thing people don't talk about is that we could fix a lot of the shit that's wrong with the earth if we, got rid of 2 billion of the people, like just culled them out.
Well, that's what the Georgia Guidestones say.
Well, they did until they blew them up, right?
Yeah.
Who the fuck, did they find out who did that?
I hope they never do. People shouldn't know that knowledge. They should wallow in the fucking mud.
The Georgia Guides, that was fucked up. They were...
You're pro Georgia Guidestones.
Oh, for sure.
Interesting. See, this is interesting. I've never heard anybody see the Georgia Guidestones and be like, "Yes, sir."
Why
I think Joe Calise would probably be pro Georgia Guidestones as well.
We need less people on the planet. We do.
Do we need less people on the planet?
Yeah.
Or do we just? I mean, I don't know.
People talk about the more people we get.
Oh, listen. Oh shit, we have a caller. Give me 1 second. Go on.
Okay, we got a caller.
Yeah, this is pretty special.
Nice. Hello.
Hello, welcome to Bad First Impressions. Can you hear us? Oh, wait a second. There we go. How's it going? Can you hear us? Hello? Oh, wait a second. Keep talking. I know what happened. Talk, Jay.
He's trying to fix a situation right now. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, there you go. What's up, motherfucker?
Well, first thing, I mean, you guys are having a great show as far as I'm concerned.
Thanks, brother.
Is this Bub Jenkins?
Yeah.
God damn it, Bub. What are you doing? Don't you dare call in and compliment me and Jay Lafarr's awesome
What's
show.
up, Bub?
Hey, Jay, on that rant about porn being gay, I had just written a joke a couple days ago that's almost exactly your entire rant.
Oh, wait a second. Hey, Jay.
Nice.
Did you just steal Bub Jenkins' joke?
I'm gonna now flesh it out for me so I can do it.
Well, no. I was asking if I could still do it.
Oh, of course, yeah. We're just fucking. It's just fuck around time. So yeah, if you got a joke, that's the one thing. And Bob, I'm gonna tell you, do jokes. If you write something that if you came up with it in your head and you write it and then you do it and it gets a good laugh, and you also see that no one else who is in your local scene or that is been on television is doing that bit, do it. Like if you hear most jokes come from a certain amount of inspiration from what you've seen or done, and as long as you're not copying someone else's shit directly, do it. You don't ever want to steal material. You don't ever want to do that. But if you also hear people talking about stuff, that's good because that also means that other people are thinking about that, and it might strike a chord with more people when you tell the joke. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just didn't want to do the joke because I was planning on doing it tonight for the first time in front of people.
Nice.
So I was like,
well, where are you going to do it at, Bub, so I can be there to call you out for stealing?
I was going to try to do a LOL in that elbow room tonight. Shout out, Berto.
You better not.
Nice.
Better not, Bub.
Oh, is tonight Tuesday?
Tonight is Tuesday.
Oh fuck! I don't even know. Maybe I'll pop by the elbow room tonight. I gotta.
Hey,
shit.
I was telling Jay that he needs to check out the elbow room. The elbow room is hosted
I've been
by
there
Cousin
before. I
Berto.
haven't been to their open mic yet, but I've heard good things about it.
It is really good. I like it. Hosted by Cousin Berto. And a lot of awesome people come through there. Hopefully,
like
Jay
Berto.
Lafarr comes there. Dude, Berto's a sweetheart.
He's good people. He's
Yeah.
Bob, how long you been doing comedy now, man?
I've been seriously kind of hitting it for like 2 years, but I used to do open mics like every once in a while a couple of years ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, keep plugging away, man. I'll tell you. One thing about comedy is it's one of the best things I think in life, anyways. And it's once there's certain aspects to doing stand-up comedy that are terrible and poisonous and awful. And that's a lot of that is self-imposed on yourself.
That's fucking so true. 1 second.
But you can make some decent friends, and also it's if you're gonna do something social where you can get out there and also kind of release some of your demons while you're doing it, that's amazing. And have the mindset where, okay, well, where do I want to be in comedy in a year? Where do I want to be in 5 years, 7 years? And then never kick yourself in the ass for not having a sitcom. Too many people get wrapped up in that they're not as successful as they want to be, and that's just dumb. Most of I know a lot of people who are at all levels of success in comedy, and some of them are blissfully happy just doing open mics once in a while, and some of them are headlining rooms across the country every week and just miserable fucks. So You know, you got to just do whatever makes you happy with comedy, and then realize that even success, massive success, doesn't bring you happiness if you're not happy already. You know, so it's a cruel game we play, man. Cruel game. But the best part is if you do it long enough, you end up getting to play rooms like in Odessa, Texas, or
Oh shit!
or
Name drop over here.
yeah. Oh Jesus, bad. What was it? What was that fucking? Rapid City, Cedar Falls, Cedar Rapids. Yeah, I've done a lot. I've done just about every terrible Midwest town, and but I fucking
You
loved
rocked
every
them
one of
all.
them. Loved every one of them. I've loved every gig, even the ones that sucked are still better than, working a window at a drive-through.
How many Lafarr bastards are over there in Odessa?
Dude, there used to be in where is it? Cedar Falls, Iowa. So in Iowa, there was a woman named Rebecca Lords. Rebecca. I still have her DVD somewhere. She was a porn actress who did a film with Ron Jeremy. That was her claim to fame. She'd been with Ron Jeremy. And not like young, suave Ron Jeremy, but like old, tired, fucking fat Ron Jeremy. Still had a monster cock on him, right? And she would sometimes fuck the comics that came through, and her husband would film it. And there's like probably a dozen comics who've gone through that area she has videotape of them.
Do you have a tape out there?
No, I don't.
Oh
I never
God.
did because I'm weird about if I sleep with a girl on the road or something, I have to pretend at least she's virginal.
In your head?
Well, I don't anymore because it's been years. Like I've been,
back in the day.
yeah, I've been with fucking nut job for like 7 years now. But man, yeah, back in the day, like if you'd meet someone and I didn't pull there are comics who would pull pussy every night, different city, and
it's so wild because they're not necessarily even the funniest comics.
No. There's a couple guys who were the openers who were getting all the tail, and it killed me.
It's wild too because you watch them and you're like, how is this working? And then at the end of the night, it's just every night.
Yeah. You ever you married, Bob?
I didn't know if there was a static. Sometimes if the thing's on too long.
Oh, okay.
Bub isn't married. Bub's a Christian man. He's looking for a woman, but he doesn't want to find one that goes to his church, which I told him is a really stupid thing.
Don't meet a woman. Here's the thing: never dip your pen in female pussy.
Oh, interesting.
Or female comedian pussy.
That's what I tell people. Don't fuck comedians.
No. Although it works for some time. Mostly it doesn't. Like I have yet to. There are a few couples. Rich Voss is with his wife, and they've been together for a while. I'm trying to think of who else. There aren't a lot of them. There aren't a lot who stay together. I've dated.
I think it's only
3.
They also have kids though. Too,
Three
which
girls.
is also different. Rich Voss and I think that they had kids together.
Yeah, they do have kids. Yeah, I dated 3 female comics.
You did, really?
Yeah. Huh?
Recently, or before you got to San Antonio?
No, since I've been doing comedy.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not gonna bring any of their names up.
No, of course
because
I'm not gonna
they
ask
fucking
either.
probably hate me still.
Oh.
But
I can imagine though. Jay Lafarr is a whole lot of man.
I'm a whole lot of asshole. But I have never had a relationship that ended well.
Yeah, that's kind of how they all end, though, right?
Yeah,
I never understand people that are friends with their exes. I'm like,
yeah, I've never met that. I don't get that. I don't get how people can be.
They're the openers that fuck all the chicks. You know what I mean? They're like, I'm also friends with my ex. We fuck sometimes, and
Yeah, I get along with my ex because we co-parent our baby puppy.
Yeah. What?
We got a puppy together, so we split the time with the pup.
One of you, if you weren't married, and you had a dog, then one of you takes the fucking dog. You don't co-parent a dog because that's the biggest problem. It's not a fucking kid. It's a dog. Like, if me and Maggie were to split up for some reason, I take all the animals because I wouldn't trust her with them.
Yeah. That's all. Well, that's what stinks is that I wouldn't take the animals because I'm too much of a Rolling Stone.
Do you have animals?
No, that's why. Because I'm very. So here's the thing. What I want to get is a Pac-Man frog. I'm gonna get a what is it called? A bioterrarium or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And so it's gonna have a plant in there. So Pac-Man frogs just chill in the dirt. They don't move around, and you just feed them and all that. But also,
that sounds like an incredibly terrible pet.
No, I mean it's good just because first off, I don't want to touch it. I just want it to chill and just like relax. And I just like that it's living there.
Okay.
It's enjoying its life. But so for a pet that I could actually have as a pet. My chick, you probably don't like these animals either. You seem like the kind of person that's anti-rat.
No, rats make good pets.
They do, and especially for
I've heard a lot of people who've had rats, and they're like, oh, they're great. They're very affectionate.
They're like puppies,
and they're clean.
I had rats as a kid. I had rats, mice, hamsters. Rats are very sweet. They're very smart. I've always wanted to have rats, especially now because back in the day, I always had cats. I always had dogs, so you really couldn't. But in this apartment. It would be perfect because I've had a dog. I'd feel bad because I don't have a yard. I don't want to take it out for as much as it would need for an apartment like this.
Well, like when I leave here, I got to head back home and let the dogs out.
See, and also when it comes to cats, I don't know if you noticed this, but if you have a cat in an apartment, very stiff. Unless you have an outside cat, they get stiff when they don't have a lot of running around and being able to really jump and do their cat stuff. They get very stiff.
My cats are fucking lazy fat fucks, but.
Well, that's if you got I don't know. I like a fat. I'd like to have a nice fat cat, but I'd also like it to, but not in the country because then it'll get eaten by coyotes. But but I'd like a fat cat. But yeah, for in a small apartment like this, I'd love to have some rats. I'd love to train them to do tricks, and then I could bring them up on stage, and I could
nice
have some trained rats. I mean, it'd be a whole dude. What I really want to bring back to this comedy shit, man. What I'd really love to do, and I'd love if you're down one of these days. Is kind of do some like do some vaudeville shit. You have a tag. Oh man, my grandma had one named Conrad that was orange like that. And you have a big old black and white one.
Yeah, that's Louis C. Cat.
Louis C. Cat.
And the other one's Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne. He's
I'm glad you still got him, man.
Oh, I've had these cats for 12 years. They're awesome. My thing is I never want pets really because I always feel sad knowing that one day they'll die and then I'll be all
my
heartbroken.
dogs just died recently.
So you're
both
what?
of them, both my dogs just died recently.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, I don't know if you ever saw him. I had one boxer named Bell and just died because I had like a massive ass tumor in the throat, and then Bodie died right after Bell died. But he also had like this rowdy ass like cataract. I didn't even post this on the thing because I always get. I don't want to post my like whatever stuff on the Facebook because whatever. I think once I get drunk, sometimes I'll post it on my brother and then I'll delete it in a second. But yeah, man, that's how I feel about animals too, man. It's like I want to get pets, but it's when they die, it just fucking blows. You know what I mean? And then it's like you gotta, and then if they're sick, you want to put all that money into that shit. All right. Hello, welcome to Bad First Impressions. You're talking to the Ace Man. 1 second.
Ace.
And Jay Lafarr, what's up? And turn your radio down. And Jay Lafarr, what's up? Turn your radio down.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Tommy.
Hi, guys. Hey, Jay. This is Trixie Mickelson. I'm a huge fan.
Hey.
Hey, I had a couple of questions for you before your show ended with Alonzo. Number one is, what would you change looking back on your comedy career? And what is one piece of advice you would give a new female comedian?
Oh, well, those are both really good questions. One thing I would change, I was always stubborn when I did comedy, so I never would suck up to the headliners and then try to jump on board. Like there are comics who have been able to get a lot more, get an earlier jump start on their careers and also get opportunities like overseas and stuff. by making friends with the headliners. When they'd come to town, drive them all over, take them out to lunch, do all. And I never did that, and I wish I had now, because I probably missed out on some opportunities to do some very cool gigs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And for female comedian, and it's, so I have a couple issues with like the idea of female comedian, because I just like to think of comedians, because I don't like to really different, because like if there are certain obstacles that women face in comedy that men don't, and also certain obstacles men face that women don't. But for women, my main thing is I would tell them not to, sleep with a bunch of comics on the local scene,
Mm-hmm.
which it's bad. It's bad for business, and it's unfortunate, but that's one of the things that that can kind of get your reputation for, I don't even know.
What it
proper
does
way
is
of
it
saying
ruins freaking shows, because it's not even the chicks. It's a lot of times the dudes that get jealous, and then it's like, oh, I can't be on the show with this person because they had sex with this person.
Yeah, I mean, there's great, but that
silly.
shouldn't even be in it. But the thing is, it just doesn't occur. That shit never occurs to me. I prefer to have women, to work with women when I do shows, because it's a nice it's a nice mixture. Like one of the people who I do a lot of shows with is Tammy Bernal. And I've been trying to get.
I've been seeing her a lot lately. Like
she's been doing a lot of work.
Media.
She's been doing a lot of things.
Is she from San Antonio, or
she's in San Antonio? She lives in Bernie now, but
she's a local. Hey, locals only.
But,
do it up for the locals.
But I think for a lot of women doing comedy, I mean, it's just be funny and try to write material that is personal to you, and I think then that comes through. But when you first start out doing comedy, everyone kind of has the same shit. Men and women, we both go to the things that are probably, most guys. That's probably when you go to open mic. Almost every new guy comic, is talking about masturbating or getting high or playing video games. Those are the three things. Women a lot of times talk about how they want to get a boyfriend, or that they want to do this, that they're tired of the patriarchy and shit like that. But what I do think is that if you're just true and honest and just write stuff that you think is funny and stick to that, that's the best rule I can give to any new comic, is try to do that. Try to be as original as you can, and and also take acting classes and improv classes. Do anything you can to kind of help with the nuances in your set, because when you show jokes, that tends to make the joke better for you and the audience. And when you make it more theatrical, and how long have you been doing comedy?
I'm going on like right about a year, and I don't sleep with my comedian associates, so that's check on that one. And I've been casted on the Dinner Detective, so I'm doing improv.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool, and I actually enjoy that a lot more than I do the comedy at the moment.
You know what? That's a good thing too, because those shows actually, it's about performance.
Right.
And I think stand-up, a lot of people forget this. All the best, like if you look at all the stand-up comics you really loved growing up, and it's because they could perform the shit out of a joke. And a lot of times, comedians forget that we're entertainers, and that we're supposed to be entertaining. And part of that, like, you can stand in front of a microphone and tell some really funny ideas, and you'll get some laughs. But if you can make the jokes bigger and more, add physicality to them, that sells it so much better for a lot of audience members. That's why people like Dane Cook. I remember when he blew up, and people, either hate or they like Dane Cook. It's one of those weird things. There's not a lot of middle ground with him. But I was one of the people that I was always amazed at his performance, because he'd get so sweaty and just like he was like a maniacal, but people loved it. Same with Pablo Francisco, another guy who, has to, have fans on stage just to keep him cooled down because he's coked up probably too. But but he's also making so much noise. Ali Wong, another one, a very very funny lady, but there's also a certain amount of act outs that she does that are great. Oh shit, Leanne Morgan, who's probably one of my favorite comedians, and she's a good example of how I think the industry sometimes doesn't do right by funny people, because when she started out, I remember she was hosting shows at like the River Center Comedy Club. And I saw her, and she was already funny. She already was killing it. And this is, 17 years ago or something, And I remember seeing her and going, oh, wow, she's funny. And they didn't bump her up to feature. I forget what it all was, but it was like a weird thing. But anyways, she ended up headlining other clubs before they'd even feature her at the River Center downtown. And then eventually they brought her back to headline, and she killed it, of course. She's one of the women, along with Etta May.
What was her name again? One more time?
Leanne Morgan.
What was that?
Leanne Morgan?
Leanne Morgan, yeah.
Thank you.
Leanne Morgan. And then there was like they had the Four Blonde Moms or something that was Four Blonde Moms. There's like a group of women who were comedian. They were absolutely, all of them were fantastic. Some of my favorite, one of the comics that made me want to do comedy was Whoopi Goldberg. Her and John Leguizamo when I was young. I remember watching their specials. Oh my God, I love these guys. And
I really, I grew up on like Eddie Murphy. I really thought he was amazing. I would watch his VHS over and over because he was very animated. He was very, his.
Yeah, when he would do an impression and he would sell the shit out of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy too was one of those people. Sam Kinison.
Also, his energy was just insane. Just like anything that he said, he just had you just tell it's his fingers on the pulse. You know what I mean? It's just so weird. And it's also like you really can't recreate what Eddie Murphy was doing at a certain point. It's not like, I don't even think he was necessarily like that polished of a comedian. I think he was just such a naturally funny person, and he just was given that spot, and he just had the same kind of confidence that he could also I think a lot of people that were given that that stick, you know what I mean, would have fumbled it. But I think he really I think he's just that guy in a lot of weird ways. I think he's like a unique kind of talent. It almost transcends stand-up comedy.
Eddie Murphy and Chappelle too, Chappelle, because they both started so young. I think Eddie Murphy by the time he was 21, it was making Beverly Hills Cop. I mean,
and he saved SNL, and then
he did. He was,
and no one even cared that he liked transvestites.
Right?
Wow. Hey, great point. One second. Let me get an applause break for that. Let me pull that up. Wait, that's a great point. I think that almost made me not care about, being a little that way too myself. I think Eddie Murphy kind of opened that up for myself. And so did Richard Pryor, Yeah. I've always loved the black comedians that, were a little fruity. They were allowed to be a little fruity.
Well, if Eddie, like Eddie said, if she's tucking, I'm fucking. So...
Hey guys, well, thank you so much for your time, and have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Nice talking to you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, thank you, Tracy, for calling in. A lot of great questions for Mr. J. Lafarr there, man. Thank you so much.
That was good.
The phone lines are still open, and we're just chilling, man. We're just relaxing.
WSAD. Sad radio.
Sad radio. Listen, let me put on a little bit of this. I had this on when I had Chandra on. Yeah, it's a little too loud.
I want to say Alonzo's said the Jews are destroyed. I have yet to see what the rest of that. I only see those 3 words.
What does it say, that all the wars will be over once the Jews are destroyed?
Yes. Why does that keep coming up there?
I mean, somebody really wants to get that message out there. Well, so we're looking at
Is that Russian television?
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't even think it's Russian television. I think it's whoever's running this channel is also. Yeah, wow. I really it shows up a lot. I don't know if it's just one person saying the same thing, because then somebody else is saying hi, and then somebody else has more commentary, and then right there pops up about the.
Oh, we saw this guy earlier.
Yeah, well, it started in May, and a study showed that prices skyrocketed by 20%. Holy shit! Doesn't that kind of look like? I'm not gonna lie, that looks a little bit like upstage comedy right there.
Oh my god!
Right?
You know what? Upstage, are you doing the showcase that they're doing?
Oh my god, no, I didn't. I didn't even know about this. No, it's so funny. I was watching the upstage comedy thing, and I kept on seeing people that were on there, and I was like, "This looks like you know who's running it, right? Keenan."
Yeah.
You ever watch the show Keenan and Kel?
No.
I was like, this seems like one of Keenan's scams. This seems like one of Keenan's get rich quick schemes, because Keenan and Kel was all about. It was kind of like a. What was the Honeymooners, when they had the two dudes that were always trying to have a get rich quick scheme or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Keenan and Kel was kind of a modern day, also kind of Amos and Andy kind of thing in a weird way. But yeah, so Keenan was like the one that was always trying to, have the scheme, and then Kel was the one that wasn't. So I was like, man, this whole comedy showcase kind of feels like one of Keenan's get rich quick schemes. And you know what? Anybody that's on that showcase, you should steal that joke and say it, and people will probably laugh really hard at it.
I got invited to do that.
Oh, really? Why didn't you do it?
Well, I'm scheduled to whatever day it is.
You should.
I'm gonna. It's 3 minutes, and it's.
I would love to, because I love Keenan. I love Keenan, and I love Keenan and Kel. I didn't even know there was a thing, because I knew that there was a VR contest for it, and I feel bad because my man Tiger didn't get invited to the regular one, and he didn't get on the fucking showcase. And I think that sucks, because there's a lot of non-locals on that shit, and that should be a locals thing. If it's at Upstage, we should be taking care of our locals, guys.
Yeah, I don't know how or what I just out of the blue got a message from the people, and they were like, "Hey, you want to sign up for this?" And I was like, "All right," because there's a part of me that is like, I can't, like, so realistically, I can't win.
Oh, they asked you to be on like the thing as like actually a performer?
Oh, it's like one of the people doing a 3-minute spot. Yeah.
What do you mean you can't win?
Well, because I'm like, I already, as far as all the other people that would be competing in it, I'm probably already doing more than them. So if I win, I'm not really winning anything. But if I lose, then I also, I'm losing to people.
No, that's how I feel about all my shows these days. I think I explained that to Bub, whatever, the last time, where it's like, anytime that I do good on these shows, it's like, well, I've been doing it for 10 years. These other people have been doing it for 2 years. I should be doing better than them. So it doesn't actually mean anything when I do. But if I didn't do better than them, then I feel like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 100%. I totally. But also, I mean, Jay, you're going to do good, though. It's like, it's one of those things that, like, it's easy for me to tell you that, and you could, like, well, you would never tell me that. But, people tell me that. And they go, but dude, I mean, obviously it's like, but yeah, you just fucking shine on that kind of thing. But
well, I will, and because also 3 minutes, I don't even know what 3 minutes is in comedy.
Right, dude. That's what I try to explain to people too. Where it's just like, at this point, I can do 3 minutes. I can do all this time, but that's not going to help me work on my 15-minute set, which is actually going to get me paid. I need to work on 15-minute sets. 30-minute sets. That's actually going to be my thing. Here's
the weird thing. A 3-minute set, a 5-minute set, a 6-minute set, that's a TV set, Mm-hmm. So it's not a bad idea to have those in your pocket. Like a consistent 6-minute set, 3-minute set that you can do for a quickie audition that you can knock out. It's kind of like having a dish that you cook. If people are coming over, but it's something real quick, but it's always good.
A little hors d'oeuvre, a little starter.
Yeah,
that you can just throw in the pot.
Like for me, like I'm a pretty good cook. I can whip up a lot of stuff, but like a go-to would be if I had people coming over, if you could throw together like a charcuterie board while they're waiting, and then do a little maybe shrimp and garlic sauce on pasta.
Oh wow.
Right, which is
simple though. Just simple.
It's
Just throw it on
simple,
there, yeah.
but it's delicious. And then people you put a nice side salad with it, and it's not difficult. And that's kind of like what a good 3-5 minute bit is. But so now I got to go. I was thinking of just getting up there and maybe just talking about Walsham Road.
Here's a question I really want to ask you. So, and this might be like a weird way of putting it or whatever, but so you're a kind of person that's obviously, I think anybody that's listened to the beginning of this podcast and listening to now kind of knows what I'm talking about. Like, you don't go with like the mainstream kind of thing. The fact that you are a headliner comic and that you have these kind of political views, like obviously you don't put that in your comedy. You know what I mean? But it's like, how do you mesh like that? Like, how do you mesh your own like political views, but with the professionalism of comedy and doing your stuff? I think a lot of people really, I think Bub really needs to hear this. And I think I really need to hear this because like a lot of times you kind of fall out of love with you know what I mean, the whole system of things when you get that makes sense.
A little bit, yeah. I think that first of all, like I'm fairly conservative guy on most levels.
That's what I meant. I meant you're a conservative comedian, but comedy these days is like, not conservative.
Well, that's the thing. It's there's enough people. Most of the people who go to comedy clubs are people who work.
Great point.
And because of that, they tend to not be far left people. They tend to be more in the middle of the road or to the right. Now, if it's a free show, it's almost always fucking lefty people because they're fucking lazy cunts. And
free.
Yeah. So, and again, so like people are like, well, you're very conservative. I am, but I have a lot of values, which, I would be considered very to the left of stuff. Like as far as like gays or what, I don't care what anyone does. I don't want to pay for it. That's kind of where I'm at. I don't care if you want to do drugs, do drugs. I smoked weed for a long time. Shit, I used to sell pop brownies to make extra money when I was broke. I have no problem with if you want to do fentanyl. I don't give a shit. If it kills you, though, that's your fault, and I shouldn't have to pay for any of your shit. If you're a woman and you want to be a filthy, dirty whore, that's fine. But I'm not paying for your abortions. If you want to have an abortion, that's fine. I don't care. Kill them. The best way to get rid of fucking nuisances is to abort them.
Here's my thing about abortions. I think that you shouldn't really be that much penalized if you accidentally kill your kid like within the first year.
I think though there needs to be some rule amendments where, like, if a woman and a man decide that they don't want to have the child together, then and they abort it, that's fine. But also, as far as keeping it, if a woman wants to keep the child and the man doesn't, or vice versa, there has to be some legality there because, like, a woman can force a guy to pay child support for that kid.
No, I think you could file a paper abortion or whatever. I think it's like that's the whatever term. I don't know what the actual legal term is, but I think you can file a thing.
But like in theory, I'm against abortion because I have residual Catholicism within me.
Yeah, right. No, I get it.
And so, but like I also, it doesn't affect me, and I am never going to be someone to take away liberty from another person. So if your choice is to kill your kid, that's fine. Like I said, less people is better. But I don't want to pay for it. So that's the main thing. I don't think we should pay for anyone else's shit. I think all the money you make should go to you, and that you shouldn't have to pay taxes on anything. That if the government wants, then the government wants to have a sales tax. If you want to do that, that's fine. Like they were talking about a 30% sales tax and getting rid of the income tax. I'm all for that. And then you don't tax medicine, you don't tax food, you just tax goods. And that's fine.
Well, my opinion about that is first off, when it comes to the whole abortion thing, like I really don't care about what you do as long as we all admit that, yeah, you are killing a baby. Like, I mean, it's like, I hate where there's this whole, like, idea where it's like, oh, you're not killing a baby. It's like, well, you are, but I mean, but what is a baby and what does it even really fucking matter? Because we kill things all the fucking time. Like, I just hate when people try to go, like, they try to make you agree to their, like, weird weasel words just so they feel better about themselves. Like, I don't want to hear this actual true definition of this thing because it makes me feel bad about myself.
Who's the painter that did the thing with the star? I think it's called Starlight or Stars.
Oh, Van Gogh, Starry Night.
Was it Van Gogh?
Is it the one where the circle of
stars?
But
that wasn't. Oh, was it him or was it?
No, I'll look it up. So go on. But what's your point?
What? Well, it was an artist, I believe, who talked about how he had memories that went back to in utero. When he was in the uterus.
So this is Starry Night.
Yeah, who did that?
This is Van Gogh.
Van Gogh. When did he die? I forget.
A while ago. Let me see. When did Van Gogh die?
But like again, I don't understand. It's hard because I think for me, like I believe that a child is. If it's
1890, age 37.
Once you got fingers and toes, then you're a baby. So whatever. But also,
but if you think that, like, so that's what I'm saying. It's like, so I think the conception is probably like whenever the fucking sperm gets into the egg, that is the thing. So it's like, okay, so what if you grow no toes? Does that mean I mean, it's like, when do you start going to like
once it's sentient, once there's a brain stem.
All right, well, okay.
Like that. Like I don't know though because
so how sentient are mentally handicapped people?
They are, and that's why I say
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way because I'm just kind of like I don't think they're going to care either way. You know, like if they don't care one way, then they probably won't care the other way.
There's no wheelchair ramps in heaven.
Yeah, they're all got wings.
They all got wings.
Yes, they all float right up to the fucking water fountain that everybody gets to use.
No, not all of them.
Only Jesus gets his special water fountain.
The special water fountain, the one with Kool-Aid in it. So, Speaking of Kool-Aid, I didn't get to see him when I was in Vegas. He was going to come to one of my shows, and then he bailed. He didn't come to it.
He's too big for us, dude. He's gotten too big for San Antonio. He's gotten too big for his friends. He's gotten too big for comedy, dude. It's crazy.
Kool-Aid.
He's too big.
He's good people.
I love Kool-Aid. I used to live in Kool-Aid's room when he left.
Oh, you did, didn't you?
Did you know that house? Did you ever see that house before Kool-Aid moved out?
Oh, it's disgusting.
And I cleaned that house out. It was over 48 trash bags, full black trash bags. I cleaned that house out in 2 days because I'm just kind of that kind of guy. And then once I did, they all started to think that, oh, wow, this place is a really nice place now. They started to invite people over. They started like, and then they pushed Alonzo out. And that's what happens.
Oh, who'd you live with there?
Jacob Yarborough, Josh Pullen, and that was it.
Oh, just those two?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That house went through a weird. It had like people would come and go there quite a bit.
Yeah, I know there was that JJ dude, and then I know.
Oh, that's the one that was that the one who, like someone had gay sex with him or something?
Yeah, I heard that.
There's something, and
yeah, I heard something about
that. Was during the Me Too thing. I forget.
It was wild. I heard about that.
Again, don't care.
I don't know. I just heard something about that. I don't know exactly what happened there, but I did hear about that. Definitely, that was weird. That was definitely weird.
Well, this has been a great day. It's 12 o'clock, I think, which means we're about running out of time.
All right.
No more callers.
Yeah, no callers. But Suge Ray did say that if Jay Lafarr shows up to Elbow Room, then he will show up. And I don't know if that is that a threat.
Who said that?
Suge Ray.
Who's Suge Ray?
Did you know who Suge Ray is?
No.
No, Suge Ray's a good dude. He's a black dude.
Oh, is he? Nice.
Yeah, he's a black dude, and he's a good dude. Let me see. And we also got Marcus Jenkins. Is that Bub Jenkins? Is that his alter ego? Because that would be weird. Tracy Mitchell called in. Let's see. Zandy said, I don't have a degree. I don't have a student debt, but black academia is a ripoff.
Academia is a ripoff. It's just designed to keep people indebted to the government, and then what happens is then when they do that, remember when Biden was going to forgive student loan debt, like 10 grand for each of the students or something?
Who believed that?
And then they reversed that shit because, of course, they realize, oh, this doesn't bode well with taxpayers.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I never believe Democrats' lies. I always believe Republicans' lies because the Democrats always hold them up to them. But when the Republicans hold the Democrats up to them, they always sound like whiny people. So nobody ever gets.
I just don't believe any politicians. I think anyone who tries to become one of our overlords is corrupt. And like I would identify more with the Republican Party, just the values.
Well, here's my political position. My political party is that if you want to run for politics, we take you to a room and we shoot you in the head. And we go, they're being trained at Politics Academy. Who wants to be the next guy that runs everything? And then you just keep on doing that. And then once people stop not wanting to run, like be like, oh, nobody else wants to like control everybody. All right, let's keep going.
Here's how you stop politicians from becoming politicians. One is that their salary is never more than the median salary for a United States taxpayer.
Oh yeah,
And then number two, term limits. You're only allowed 2 terms as an official in any particular office. And also, you are not allowed to make any investments while you are in office. And if they did those 3 things, that would weed out a lot of the people.
But then you could just have the family members do it, though. It's like so easy just to like you said with the Nancy Pelosi's husband thing. It's like you just have her husband fucking do it. So it's like when you say it like that. Capitalism does breed that whole thing where you can just launder your fucking
capital. Well, no, it's not capital. It's corruption. There's a difference. Capitalism is the only thing.
Breeds corruption.
Capitalism is the only thing that's ever lifted people out of abject poverty. It's the only thing which has allowed people. It's the only thing which fosters invention and incentive. What it doesn't do well, though, is it doesn't regulate itself well because the people who tend to be good at capitalism also tend to be good at manipulating people so that they can get into public office and then perpetuate that system.
But it's not even that. It's just like, so most systems aren't built for people manipulating the system. You know what I mean? And then the system has to adjust to the manipulation and stuff. So people that are good at capitalism usually are good, like you said, at manipulating people, but also not just people, but systems. You know what I mean? They see the flaws in things, they see the whatever, and then they manipulate that. So like I said, capitalism, it breeds corruption because like what the idea of corruption is what? It's people taking advantage of other people. Capitalism, all it is just being like, all right, the best person is going to whatever. So altruistic capitalism or like, where it's like people work with each other because it benefits them and it benefits their money and stuff like that is probably the best, I think the best system and stuff. But at the same time, this idea that we have of what is wrong and what is right needs to kind of evolve to that. I think that it might be a little uglier than you're used to, because I think that you do have a soft heart when it comes to animals and stuff like that. But then when it comes to like the actual like what would happen to animals when it comes to like capitalism, it's kind of disgusting.
Well, it has been. Animals are weird because like I was a vegan for 7 years and then it was hard because once I got with Maggie, just having kids in the house and her, and they aren't vegan. So, you kind of, I gave that up. I also started drinking shortly after that too. So
I'm sorry.
No, yeah. Well, I'm getting back to where I won't be drinking anymore, but
you won't.
I love
strong motherfucker, dude.
I like sobriety's good, but
it feels so good. I've been drinking right now.
I love drinking.
But this is my day off, like usually. And, I still drink on my whatever, not a day off. But I've been working on it. I've been taking a lot of your advice, man. Dude, Jay Lafarr gave me some of the best advice. I didn't listen to it until later when my brain grew better. But
yeah, if she's tucking, I'm fucking. That was the first piece of advice I gave in. I'm glad to see you followed that.
I got tattooed right here on my belly. You see it right there. I'm making it do a dance. Right, there you go.
Also, judge a man not by the color of his skin,
but by the length of
his
thumb.
By who his favorite pro wrestler is. I think that's it.
Who's your favorite pro wrestler?
All time? Oh man. I gotta say Goldberg. Goldberg was my favorite. I like Stone Cold. You know, Eddie Guerrero. That was there's a lot of them. I was back. I remember when the WCW was around, and a lot of the kids these days don't even remember that. But pro wrestling took a sharp nosedive after. And now, shit, all of them are broken old men now. Remember? Shit, I can remember The Rock's early days in pro wrestling, and now he's bigger than he was then.
Yeah, that is kind of weird. And he's trying to like tell people he doesn't have steroids. That was the weirdest shit. How like we just like let celebrities lie to us. How Liberace, like first off, I think we all knew Liberace was gay, but like, why do we have to make him lie to us? Why does The Rock have to lie to us? Why can't we just say The Rock's allowed to do steroids and he doesn't have to lie anymore?
Like Liver King.
I heard about that guy that apparently,
he was like, I eat raw liver, and that's what.
And then apparently he was doing steroids. I mean, if you, did the raw liver help? I don't know. I don't really. I can't just.
By the way, this on the screen right now: Russia, U.S., its allies try to drag out conflict by giving Kiev offensive arms. Like we're.
Oh, let me put it this way. Okay, so
by the way, you know who's they're getting? They're supposed to get 35 tanks or something from us.
And Germany's trying to hold off on giving him tanks because Germany has the good tanks, but Germany doesn't want to give them the tanks.
But the thing is, of course they want to get. If they can spend that, the military-industrial complex is still making money. They want war. They want this thing to escalate because then they make more money.
They want the Chinese shit. That's why they let the balloon.
Russians make all their own shit.
So here's what's wild. So I had the Communist Manifesto, and I also had Mein Kampf by Hitler because I was like, all right, let me get both sides, right? Dude, the Communist Manifesto, the reason this works so well is because look how short it is. It's so fucking short. You ever seen Mein Kampf? That shit's like fucking 39 chapters. It's like,
yeah, well, it's because he had a lot of time locked up.
Yeah, and he's just like talking about, dude. You know, Mein
By the way,
Kampf is like very little about anything besides he talks about like boxing and a bunch of other shit. It's really just him fucking around.
It had nothing. It had almost nothing to do with Nazism.
Yeah, have you ever read like anything by Bill O'Reilly or anything by any person on Fox? I'm not trying to sound like Fox or fascist because they really aren't. I guess that's what I'm really trying to say is like fascism is like a very overused word. The idea of
Fascism and Nazism are overused.
You are a fascist, Jay, but like in the same way that I think everybody's a fascist. Everybody's a fascist in what they believe and what their thought process is.
That what you're saying sounds very fascist to me.
Yeah, I have no idea what you mean by that, but I mean just like fascism. It just means like
Fascism's a word. It's like gaslighting. People like to throw it out there. No one understands what fascism is. No one understands what socialism is. No one because
people don't understand what socialism is because America is socialist. People go like, "Oh, socialism."
Oh, we're not socialist.
Yeah, well, we are.
No, we're not.
Taxes are socialism.
No, taxes aren't socialism.
In what way are taxes not socialism?
Well, because taxes in socialism, everyone pays the same amount. Ideally, it's never the case because, and you'll see in every communist, there's no such thing as real socialism.
Yeah, I mean,
there's communism and there's capitalism, and socialism is like communist light. And what it is that in socialism, everyone's supposed to pay an equal amount. That's not true. In the United States,
well, communism is everybody by their own means.
50% of the people pay the taxes that run the country. 50% of the people pay zero in taxes. And that the top 1% pay like 80% of the taxes out of the 50%. So we are a country which is just unrealistic because no one gets the proper information. And of course, because you got your little book there, Karl Marx. And
I haven't even read it. I got it because
I read Marx. I've read Engels. I've read Mao's little red book. I've read because when you go to college, they try to indoctrinate you from the beginning and have you read.
You have a college degree, Jay?
Yeah.
And associates?
A bachelor's in political science, a master's in history.
People don't know that. People don't know that about Jay Lafarr. 1 second. Go on.
But I did nothing with it.
Yeah, you did. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, you know what? I did because at least it allows me to put together thoughts.
Dude, you're fucking smart. Yeah, that's what I said. I love listening to
But
this
what
shit.
I also realized is that the education system is bullshit.
But you got to agree that what you're saying right now with the tax system, isn't that kind of the basic philosophy of communism, where it's like everybody like does their like what they can do like to their own capabilities. So the tax system is almost based off of that.
But that's not what socialism is. Socialism in communism are basically you don't get to choose what you're good at. You're given that job. You're told what to do. You don't have an option.
That might be a better idea, though, right? Don't you think that could be like in some ways that could actually be better for some of these fucking losers?
I think I would agree to a society which was agrarian in nature, where we lived in collectives where everyone benefited from the good of each other, but we can't do that because what happens is we've become a society now and a world where indolence and not doing anything is rewarded. There's not going to be any great love stories forever now because no one's going to be saying stuff like...
Don't say that. That's so fucking true, though.
I remember my grandma, my grandpa. My grandfather was a food blogger, and my grandmother had a TikTok account. And when they met, it was pure magic. And then she had 45 bodies behind her, and he was a polyamorous bisexual. You know, it's like this just...
Well, I'm sure there can still be a great love story within those.
That won't
ideas.
be. There can't be because there's all just
Why
fucking
not?
crazy people.
I mean, love is crazy. Jay.
No, it's not.
You're a crazy person.
Love
Jay. You're a crazy person as much as I'm a crazy. Every comedian's a crazy person.
Do we need to go to Corinthians to find out what
Let's
love
bring
is?
it up. Bring it. You want to start quoting Bible shit at me? I went to Sunday school, Jay. We can play that. Yeah, and I quit comedy to become more closer to God and a lot of weird shit like that.
I think you quit comedy because you saw the writing on the wall,
Yeah.
and then you said, "You know what I want to do? I want to fix me before I fix the world." Yeah. And that's what you did. You went out and you fixed yourself.
And I realized I don't want to fix the world. I just want to make them laugh, and I just want to get them to buy.
Yeah, you can't. The world's broken.
I want to get them to buy chicken fingers and beer.
I can't wait
while
till
I'm there. And
I
then
can't
once
wait
they're
till they
gone-
show that Zelensky dropped the N-word during a comedy set.
Did he seriously?
No, I'm sure he did though. He was a comic, so I'm sure he dropped whatever. I don't mean yet either.
They don't have black people over there, so there's no reason to drop it.
Sure, there is. Thank God, there's not any of those. I'm sure there's black people in Russia.
Did you ever hear it? Well, it was Abraham Lincoln when he woke up from blackout. What did he say? I freed the who?
Man, we should never had slavery. They should have enslaved the Irish.
No, that's what happened. See, here's what I always try to tell people, and people don't ever want to hear this, but guess what? You're going to listen right now. Black people had it better in slavery than the Irish did because the Irish were indentured servants. So what happens when you own a car? Do you treat it better than when you rent a car? When you rent a car and you have the insurance, how do you treat that car? That's how they treated the Irish indentured servants.
There's a little bit of that. I think that's kind of true, but also no, because
Also
there's
no.
nothing good about slavery. There is in no way anything good about slavery.
Well, black people are way better because they're in America than they would be if they're in Africa because Africa blows dick.
Oh, Africa
and
is
so
terrible.
black people are gooder after slaveries than they could have been.
I'm gonna tell you though,
just being over there in Africa.
Except for Somalians, who I'm fucking not a fan of, but like almost every African person that I've ever met is fucking the balls. They're motivated.
They really are. Like
they
great.
bust their ass. They all own like 2 houses. They've got.
And they're always ripping off like modern day like black people. They always have like a record company, and they're like, I know a lot. Of people,
they're amazing.
No, I know a lot of people from Africa. Whenever I talk to them, yeah, they are, because they're smart as shit, dude. I don't know where that comes from because
I just love people who hustle.
but I think here's this though. I don't think that's indicative of Africa. I think that's indicative of people that can go to another country and assimilate. I think if I think that if you go to any other country and you assimilate, you're probably some sort of the top level of your other country.
Yeah,
know,
but a lot of
whether it's-
people, when you assimilate, because a lot of them will already speak English when they get here,
Yeah.
right? And they will also I think also in order to immigrate here from a lot of African countries, I think you have to have money to begin with. It's kind of like people from India. Almost every person.
100%. Dude,
I've
do you
met
know?
from
Do
India
you know?
has money.
India. Chandra is a Brahmin.
A what?
You know what the caste system of India is?
Like a priest?
Yeah, highest class system.
Oh, okay.
Priest educator, highest class.
I love Chandra, man.
Dude, I love Chandra too, and it was so funny because I was like, I realized why Chandra acts like Chandra sometimes, because he's super nice, but sometimes he's like whatever, and I'm like, oh, this motherfucker is literally the highest caste system.
He's also he's brilliant, and he does.
He's doing us charity. He's doing us charity.
Well, he does. He helps kids to get college money by showing them the best way to get scholarships. And so I forget, we were talking, I have lunch with Chandra every now and then. We go to Indian
Chandra
restaurant.
rules. He wanted to take me out to dinner, but I was talking to him about some nonsense, and I was on my brother. It was my brother's like funeral or whatever, not funeral, anniversary of something or whatever. I won't get into it, but
dude,
so
listen, I don't want to cut you off, but I got to get going.
Thank you,
because
Mr.
it is
Lafarr.
12:14.
Aced.
And I gotta roll because I gotta let the dogs out.
Mr. J. Lafarr is coming live and direct in the Bad First Impressions studio. Thank you so much for tuning in. Jay, what do you got coming up, man? And by that I mean, where can people find you?
Well, let's see. Going to Cuyahoga Falls in Ohio, 2 weeks, and then what is it? February? I got to show up in Austin with Mike Hudak in March. I got a bunch of. I got to be honest. I don't really care about, because people don't come to see me; they come to see the show. So I book stuff and then I forget about it until the day before I'm supposed to be there, unless I have to buy a plane ticket. I got a couple theaters up in New York in April.
Do you not have a jlafarr.com yet?
I had a jlafarr.com. I let it go to fallow. I should probably. I'm just because I just don't care about any of that shit. And that's the other thing. If I could give advice to people, hype yourself up, pimp yourself out, put yourself out there. I stopped giving a fuck.
Dude, what we need to do for you is get you, do your little 1 hour thing. We'll film that, put it on your YouTube, and then we'll take whatever you have there. We'll start curating that shit.
I have a bunch of video that I need to edit down and put onto clips and stuff. So, we'll do that. But Alonzo, it's been a joy being here. Thanks for the tacos and Red Bulls. It's been a pleasure. And all of you out there who are listening, I don't know how many listeners you had for
millions.
this. How many?
Millions and
Oh,
millions.
millions and millions. Yeah. But if you're a newer comic, just fucking keep doing your thing, and have fun. You might become famous. You probably won't. But I make good money.
Oh, dude,
for a while.
One of the things that Jay told me that really stuck with me is he walked up to me when I first started, first year. And it was me and about 6 other comics, and he said, "You know what? I've been doing this for a while, and I know people have the spark, and none of you guys have it." I'm not gonna lie, none of the people there had it, but I could tell that he was talking to me, and he meant to say that I did have it. Because those people that I was around, none of them were doing comedy anymore. But guess what I'm doing? I'm sitting next to Mr. Motherfucking Jay the Motherfucking Farr. Yeah.
I love that you have sound effects.
I know, it's great,
That's
right?
so ridiculous. I got to get one of those.
I'll show you how it's done.
All right, brother. Well, I got to roll. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all be safe. Stay the course and have some fun. And don't take things too seriously. This bus ride's short. Peace.
All right, I'm going to play some Ninth Cloud, the self-titled album. This first song is called...
on sunset over a rebuilt Hiroshima. Overzealous pornographers crying wooden tears. A Hollywood finish self-titled Ballad of the Shy Marks. The New Age Bible salesman cuts out his Oscar for prophecy. A halfway saint who can't see past his fear for the sticks. Scrape the television resin from your eyes. You've forgotten your name, left playing the tragic hero like the ratings it taught you. And yeah, time is money, but so is everything else. So we sell ourselves cheap to stay ahead of the market. Wearing a loose-fitting gas mask, the pallbearer grins at high fashion from a coffin of thorns with a mouthful of lead teeth and a hail the devils is an antenna in bad weather. The Last Supper, naked lunch, tongue is too heavy to swallow. Spitting skeleton compliments in the best friend's mirror. The same heavy hands fill your pockets as last year. Cancer becomes pastime, the secret safe for now. Knee deep in sand oceans, an angel with an identity crisis, meeting yourself in a black window. Reality junkies hallucinating in dull neon cities about some awkward matchstick crowd. Consciousness, it's patriots directing commercials where the binary babies of a desensitized public raised to believe that life is just another special effect. Sober enough to have a chance, our eyes are the real drugs anyways. Lafarr, we're living, it pays you well. Fall asleep with a gun in your mouth. My sandpaper altering a living crowd. Hard to kill if you're already dead. Don't shoot the messenger. That would explain reality. Sober enough to have a chance, our eyes are the real drugs anyways. Lafarr, we're living, it pays you well. The perpetual motion of sleeping pills. My sandpaper pillow with yellowing dreams. My waking nightmares get worn loose in my eyes dull through, and every night I stumble into beautiful sunsets among ominous clouds. Ballad of the split atom. They call it Ballad of the Split Atom.
Everyone that flatters thee is no friend. 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 Everyone that flatters thee is no friend.
Erase Jack footsteps, moves the wall of hope.
All right, y'all. Anybody that's still listening, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day. Mr. J. Lafarr has left the building, and it is 12:23. And thank you so much for listening to Bad First Impressions. My name's Alonzo Cantu, and what you're listening to is Ninth Cloud's self-titled full album. And you know what? I'll play that out a little bit more. Fuck it.
This picture perfect moments seem to last forever. Existing in my mind is real as everything outside of survival. External percussions, sink, shadow, living, dying, impact, and I'll continue to breathe. Take me away from myself. And it's real enough to die for. Take me away.
Everyone that